Welcome to Wife Cheating Story. I hope you have an enjoyable and relaxing time listening. Let's get started.
I step inside, and the air is thick wine, candles, and something else. Something musky that doesn't belong to me. 2 glasses on the coffee table, one with a smudge of red lipstick. The hair on my arms stands up. Alicia's voice floats down the hall, low and teasing. Then, a man's deep chuckle. My stomach clenches. My hands curl into fists. The bathroom door opens, and there she is, my wife, wrapped in nothing but a towel, eyes wide with shock. "Oh," she stammers, I didn't think you'd be back so soon." I glance at the wine glasses, at the candlelight, at the slight shift in the air, like the ghost of another man still lingers in my home. I take a slow, measured breath. "Alicia," I say quietly. "Where is he?" Dear listeners, before we dive into today's story, let us know your location in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's begin the story. I'm staring at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, wondering when I stopped recognizing my own face. The fluorescent light overhead flickers, always does that first thing in the morning. I guess I need to replace the damn bulb, but if I'm honest, I keep forgetting, or ignoring it. Lately, I've been so preoccupied with everything that a flickering light barely makes it onto my list of problems. They call me Trevor Connolly. I'm 38, father of 2, a heavy equipment mechanic at the Denning shipping yard on the outskirts of town. It's not the most glamorous job, but I make decent money enough for me, my wife Alicia, and our kids Kyle and Emma, or so I thought. Alicia teaches art at a local community center 2 or 3 afternoons a week. She always says it's just for her own sense of fulfillment and a bit of extra cash. But truth is, I cover most of our bills. That's fine. I've never minded. I'm a man who believes in supporting his family. Yet for the past few weeks, no, maybe a few months, there's been a shift in Alicia's behavior. Subtle at first, like a breeze moving the curtains when you swear you close the window tight. She started going to evening workshops more often. Late-night lesson planning sessions. "Just grading papers," she'd mutter while texting under the covers. Then she'd turn her back to me and scrunch the blankets around her hips, shutting me out physically and emotionally. I'd be lying if I said it didn't sting. I splash water on my face, brushing away any lingering grogginess from my 5:30 a.m. alarm. My shift today is from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. typical 12-hour stretch. We're always short-staffed, and the yard never stops churning. I quietly open the bedroom door. Alicia's still in bed. The kids are in their rooms, Kyle, 10, and Emma, 8. They'll be up soon for school. Stepping into the hall, I catch Alicia's phone glowing on the nightstand. She must have an early morning text. I hear the faint buzz and wonder who'd message her at 6 a.m. Without thinking, I pause. My chest feels tight, like some invisible hand is squeezing my lungs. I never used to question her phone, never used to question her life at all. So why do I feel so suspicious now? I tiptoe over to see if the screen might reveal anything, but she stirs in the blankets and draws the phone under her pillow, half asleep, half possessive. I freeze. The tension is thick. I realize I've never been this paranoid, not until she started acting so distant. I back away, slip on my work boots, and head downstairs for coffee, my mind churning with possibilities I hate to consider. Our morning routines become mechanical. I brew the coffee, feed the dog, a lazy black lab named Ranger, and wait for the kids to shuffle down in search of cereal. Alicia usually joins us late, hair still messy, eyes barely open. On this particular morning, I notice she's dressed sharper than usual for someone who only has a half day at the art center. Instead of her usual shirt and jeans, she's in a snug blouse, pressed slacks, and a gold bracelet I haven't seen her wear in a while. She kisses Emma on the forehead and half smiles at Kyle. Then she avoids my eyes. "Morning," I murmur, sipping from my mug. She nods, opening the fridge. "Morning. I might be home later tonight. A new workshop or something." "Another workshop?" I try to keep my voice casual, but something in me cringes at how routine these lines have become. "You sure that's not too many this month?" She shrugs. "It's fine. It's more money, right?" I say nothing, burying my face in the coffee steam. I can't recall Alicia being this dedicated to her so-called workshops. She used to prefer time at home with me and the kids, painting in her little studio out back. Kyle frowns at me. Dad, can you pick me up from practice tomorrow? Practice is at 5, right? He nods. Yeah, Mom said she's busy. Alicia slaps a slice of bread in the toaster. She's moving fast, almost jittery. I told you I had an event with the other instructors, and you said it was fine. I offer Kyle a reassuring look. I'll handle it, buddy. Don't worry. Kyle just shrugs, focusing on his cereal. Alicia checks her phone. I see her eyes flick across the screen with a tiny grin. My stomach knots. Could be anything. Maybe it's a friend texting about dinner plans. Then again, maybe it's not. When I head outside to warm up the truck, Alicia stands by the front window, phone in hand, biting her lip. The moment she spots me turning around, she whips the phone behind her back like a kid caught with candy. I exhale a shaky breath. This is not my imagination. Something is definitely going on. Mid-morning, I'm elbows deep in engine grease at the shipping yard. The forklift we rely on for offloading containers decided to blow a gasket. My coworker Freddie stands by, wiping sweat from his forehead, while I tinker with the forklift's hydraulic system. Normally, this sort of Hansen work keeps me calm. I like the methodical nature of taking things apart and putting them back together. But my mind isn't here. It's at home, replaying Alicia's guarded phone reflexes. The nagging sense of not knowing what the hell is happening in my own marriage is driving me nuts. Freddie notices my distraction. You good, Trev? You've retightened that bolt 3 times. I blink, realizing I've been wrenching the same bolt repeatedly. Yeah, sorry. I set the tool aside and rub my jaw. Just got a lot on my mind. Freddie shrugs. Well, if you need an ear, you know where to find me. I nod, appreciating the offer but not quite ready to spill it all. Not sure if I even want the truth to be out there. Once you speak something, it becomes real. Right now, it's all speculation, albeit the most unsettling kind. Around lunch, the yard supervisor, Dom, calls me over. I need you to do a double shift tomorrow. McKinley called in sick. That cool? Yeah, sure, I say automatically. Overtime's always helpful. I can stash more money aside. Dom lowers his voice. Everything okay at home, man? You look like you've seen better days. I plaster on a half smile. All good, just tired. You know how it is. He claps my shoulder. I hear you. Let me know if you need a break. That's the thing. I don't need a break. I need clarity. And it feels like I'm the only one who can fix that. I get off work a bit early because of a power outage that knocks out half the yard's electrical system. Nothing can run, so Dom sends most of us home. Part of me wonders if I should go somewhere else, grab a burger, or see a movie alone just to avoid the tension I expect at home. But another part wants to catch Alicia by surprise. If she's not expecting me, maybe I'll see something revealing. Pulling into the driveway, I notice the living room lights are low and candles flicker by the window. Strange. I park quietly, kill the engine, and listen. The house looks peaceful from the outside, except for that amber glow. If it were date night, Alicia might set it up like this, but we haven't had a date night in months. My heart rate ticks up. I step through the front door, the faint aroma of wine hits me. Candles on the coffee table, 2 wine glasses, one half empty, the other with red lipstick smudged along the rim. The hair on my arm stands up. Alicia's nowhere in sight. I set my keys down with a deliberate click, and a second later I hear the bathroom door open. Alicia steps out, wide-eyed in her robe, hair damp. Oh, she says, I didn't think you'd be back so soon. I glance around. Yeah, they shut down the yard, power issues. My eyes flick to the wine glasses. You having a party? She flinches. No, I was just relaxing. You know, bubble bath and a glass of wine. 2 glasses? She stares at the table like she's only just now seeing the second glass. I poured one for you, actually. But you weren't answering your phone, so I figured you'd be late. I check my phone. No missed calls, no texts. She forces a laugh like she's caught in a stupid lie but wants me to drop it. I guess I forgot to text. I step closer, noticing the living room air still carries a hint of cologne that isn't mine. My head swirls with questions, but I keep my tone steady. All right. Well, thanks for thinking of me. Her posture sags in relief, maybe because I'm not pushing it. Sure, she mumbles. Sorry I used up most of the hot water. The tub was just too inviting. I nod, pretending to buy the story even though it's hollow. A flicker of intense anger ignites in my gut. But I won't let it show. Not yet. That night I sift through the trash, which might sound ridiculous, but sometimes truth hides in the mundane. Sure enough, at the bottom of the kitchen can I see a crumpled piece of paper, a little heart doodle, the name Grant scrawled next to a phone number. My pulse spikes. I slip it into my pocket, heart pounding. Back upstairs, I watch Alicia from the hallway. She's brushing her hair, phone resting on the nightstand. She looks normal, or maybe normal is an illusion. For a moment, I doubt myself, could Grant be some colleague at the Arts Center? But then I recall the second wine glass, the candle-lit living room, her quick explanation that made zero sense. I swallow the fear. Fear that my marriage is sliding away from me. Fear that if I press her, she'll confirm the worst. But an even stronger emotion takes hold. Determination. If she's lying, I deserve to know. "Trev," she calls softly, noticing me at the door. "You okay?" "Yeah," I manage, forcing a half grin. "Long day." She nods, returning to her reflection. I get it. Night. Crawling into bed, I turn my back to her. Odd how a single piece of paper can wedge itself between two people like a knife. A couple of days pass. Alicia is moody. She tries to act normal around the kids, but every time her phone buzzes, she practically jumps out of her skin. She's also started changing the passcode on her phone like I'd rummaged through it, right? But the fact that she's so protective just confirms my suspicions. One evening after dinner, I approach her casually. "Hey, Alicia, do you know someone named Grant?" Her face goes pale. Know why? I watch her darting eyes. It's the reaction of a cornered animal. I decide not to push. "I heard the name at the yard. Thought maybe you taught his kid or something." She forces a laugh. Never heard of him. Then she shuts herself in the bathroom for a half hour. I can barely look at her. If we talk about the weather, she's fine. But mention Grant, and she's running for cover. That night, I drive to my sister Natalie's place. She's always been the calm in my storms, 4 years older, tough as nails, a single mother after her own messy divorce. If anyone gets it, she does. Natalie pours me coffee in her tiny kitchen, pushing aside a stack of library books. "So talk." I rub my temples. "I think Alicia's cheating, or at least seeing someone behind my back. The signs are everywhere." Natalie leans in. "You certain? Or is it like your gut telling you?" I sigh. Right now, just my gut. But the gut never lies, right? She's sneaking around, lying about weird stuff, ignoring me at home, and then there's this name Grant. Natalie's expression darkens. "That's serious. You're not just paranoid." "No. I wish I was." She sets her mug down with a thud. "If she's cheating, you have to protect yourself. Finances, the kids, you know how divorce courts can be. They might paint you as the bad guy if you're not prepared." I stare at my reflection in the black coffee. "You think it'll come to that?" "A divorce?" Natalie places a hand on mine. "I hope not, but you gotta be ready. Gather proof. Don't confront her yet, she could spin the narrative." Hearing my own sister advise me to spy on my wife feels unreal, but everything about this situation is unreal. "All right," I say at last, my voice hushed. "I'll do it. I just need to be sure, you know. It's better to know the truth than live in confusion." The next day at the shipping yard, my phone rings during lunch. I check the screen. Ian's calling. Ian was my buddy from the National Guard years ago, a man known for cutting through bullshit with a dull blade. "Trev, heard from Natalie you might need some support. You okay?" I pick at my sandwich. "I guess. Could be better." He's silent a moment, then asks, "You suspect Alicia's cheating?" The directness stings, but I nod into the phone. "Yeah," he sighs. "Look, I'm not a relationship counselor, but I know a thing or two about not letting a betrayal ruin your life. It's about controlling the fallout. If she's messing around, you gotta be ready to act, not just react." I grunt. "So what do you suggest?" "Proof," he says. "You won't have any leverage without it. We talk about possible steps, checking phone bills, maybe a hidden camera if I'm feeling bold." My pride flares. I hate the idea of spying on my own wife, but I also hate the idea of being blindsided in a divorce hearing with no evidence on my side. Before we hang up, Ian says, Don't let your emotions blow up yet. If you do, she'll spin it that you're an angry husband. Keep calm. Be strategic. Easier said than done, I mutter. He chuckles. Sure is. Good luck. I stare at the forklift I'm supposed to be fixing. My appetite's gone, replaced by a nauseous swirl of betrayal and strategy. Returning home that evening, I find Alicia rummaging through the pantry, pulling out leftover spaghetti noodles and tomato sauce. She says, I thought I'd make dinner. I shrug. Okay. She seems oddly pleasant for a woman who's been so distant. I watch her shoulders tense every time her phone buzzes. She either hides it or rushes to the other room to answer. After dinner, the kids want to watch a movie. Alicia pleads a headache and retreats upstairs. I let Kyle and Emma pick some Pixar film while I slump on the couch, mind 1,000 miles away. Emma nuzzles beside me. Daddy, can I have popcorn? I smile, ruffling her hair. Sure, sweetheart. The normalcy of the kids, the silly cartoon voices from the TV, it all contrasts with the war I feel inside. They're my anchor. Alicia might be drifting, but I have to hold steady for these kids. A half hour in, I notice Alicia creeping down the steps, fully dressed in jeans and a blouse, rummaging for her car keys. I forgot an errand, she mumbles. Be back soon. I glance at the clock, 8:15 p.m. What errand? She jangles the keys. I just realized I need some supplies for tomorrow's class. I set my jaw, forcing a calm expression. Okay. See you later. The door shuts behind her. Kyle and Emma turn to me, confused. Where's Mom going? I exhale. Just an errand, apparently. They exchange a look. I sense their worry. They're not oblivious. Kids feel the tension, but I pat Emma's knee. Don't worry, baby. She returns to the screen. An hour later, Alicia's still not back. When she finally returns, she finds me in the kitchen, leaning on the counter. The kids are in bed. She sets down a small grocery bag containing random art supplies, some paintbrushes, a sketch pad. I glance at them. Couldn't wait until tomorrow? Her eyes dart away. The store might be sold out. You know how it is. I have half a mind to check the receipt for the timestamp, but I don't. Instead, I just nod. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Natalie. Hang in there. I pocket the phone. Alicia starts heading to the bedroom. No further explanation. That night, as I lie awake listening to her rhythmic breathing, I silently vow that I'm not going to remain in the dark much longer. I decide to meet Ian at a local steakhouse after my shift 2 days later. I'm still wearing my stained coveralls and steel-toed boots when I slide into the booth. Ian's already there in a plain black shirt, sipping water and scanning the menu. He raises an eyebrow. Rough day? I snort. They all are. I gesture to the waitress for a beer, then turn to Ian. Thanks for coming. Let's get this out in the open. Alicia's definitely acting suspicious. I can't keep ignoring it. Ian folds his arms. So do you want a divorce, or do you want to salvage things? My heart lurches. I don't know. I just want the truth. He nods. Gather proof, then decide. You can't make an informed decision on guesswork. I sip the cold beer the waitress brings. The place smells of grilled meat and onion rings, normally comforting, but my appetite's shot. She's texting someone named Grant. I found a scrap of paper with his name on it and a phone number. I asked her about him, and she flat out lied. Could be a real estate guy, could be an affair partner. I nod grimly. I'm leaning toward the latter. Ian leans forward. Then the path is clear. If you want to protect yourself, do the following. Check phone records, maybe a hidden camera. If you confirm she's cheating, see a lawyer, freeze joint assets. Don't confront her emotionally. Stay calm. Be strategic. I clench my fists under the table. A hidden camera in my own house, it feels extreme. It's your home, your property. You have a right to know. You don't have to watch them do anything explicit, just enough to confirm your suspicions. The waitress interrupts to take our order. I wave her off, saying I'm not hungry, then realize that might look weird. I quickly add, actually, a small sirloin, medium rare. Ian orders a ribeye. Once she's gone, he continues, look, I know you're a decent guy, but you can't afford to be naive. If Alicia's stepping out on you, she might also be prepping a divorce to take advantage of you financially. Cheaters do that sometimes. That last line chills me. You think she'd do that? He shrugs. I've seen good men blindsided. Don't be that guy. I stare at the table. Yeah, okay. I'll do it. Our steaks arrive, and Ian changes the subject to lighten the mood. We talk about sports, the yard, anything but my crumbling marriage. Still, the tension in my chest remains. The next day, I take an extended lunch break and drive to an electronics store. They sell discrete mini-cameras that can be synced to a phone or laptop. I feel like some second-rate spy as I browse the shelves, comparing specs and resolution. I buy one small enough to hide on the living room bookshelf. It's not cheap, but if it gives me peace of mind or the evidence I need, it's worth it. That evening, Alicia says she's stepping out to the community center for extra prep. Perfect. I wait until she's gone, then set up the camera on a corner shelf, tucked behind a fake potted plant. It's angled toward the couch and front door. If she brings someone in, I'll see them. My hands shake as I connect it to an app on my phone. I test it out by walking around the living room. The image is surprisingly clear. A little part of me hopes I'll never see Alicia do anything incriminating, but my gut says otherwise. 3 days pass with nothing definitive. Alicia's routine is more or less the same late evenings out. Hushed phone calls, short temper with me when I ask anything about her schedule. The tension at home is suffocating. Then one Thursday, I get off work earlier than usual. A power surge at the yard knocks out half the equipment, so Dom sends us home. Perfect chance to see what Alicia might be up to when she thinks I'm gone till late. I park a few blocks away and walk back so she won't recognize the sound of my truck. My stomach churns with adrenaline. If she is cheating, I'm about to catch her. At the front door, I pause. Through the window, I see the camera's vantage point. The living room is empty, but I can't just barge in if I suspect someone else might be there. I slip inside as quietly as I can, stepping over the kids' shoes in the foyer. Voices, muffled conversation come from the living room. A man's voice, distinct from my own. My spine goes rigid. I creep closer, heart pounding in my ears. Alicia's voice. He's working a double shift. Trust me, we've got time. A male voice, calm, a slight chuckle. Babe, you sure? I can't have your husband barging in. I step behind the dining room wall, resisting the urge to confront them. Instead, I grab my phone and open the camera's live feed. The screen shows Alicia on the couch with a tall man. Dark hair, expensive-looking blazer draped over a chair. They're sitting too close, definitely more than friends. My stomach lurches violently, my worst fears confirmed. She's smiling at him, leaning in. He cups her chin. She murmurs something I can't catch. Then they kiss. Deep. Intimate. My hand trembles around the phone. Blood roars in my ears like ocean waves crashing. I'm so tempted to jump out, beat the living daylights out of that man. But Ian's words echo in my head. Stay calm. Gather proof. I record them for a minute or two, enough to confirm the affair beyond any doubt. Then I quietly back out the door, my heart hammered into dust. In the driveway, I slump against the car, breathing hard. Alicia is inside with another man, Grant, presumably. The rage feels explosive, but I recall Ian's warning. If I go in there swinging, I'm the one who looks violent. They can twist that scenario against me. I climb into the truck and pull away from the curb. Once around the corner, I park again, chest heaving. My phone buzzes a text from Alicia. Working late on lesson plans. Don't wait up. It's like a knife twisting in my gut. I tighten my grip on the phone, replying with a single word. Understood. Tears sting my eyes, which surprises me because I thought I was more angry than hurt. But I guess heartbreak doesn't care how tough you think you are. I call Ian. He picks up on the second ring. Everything okay, brother? I manage to steady my voice. They're in my house right now, man. She's with him. I saw them. Ian's silent a moment. Shit, Trev. I'm sorry. I clench the steering wheel. I want to storm in, drag that bastard out by his collar, but I don't, Ian interjects. You'll risk everything. I know it's hell. Listen to me. Go somewhere. Calm down. Focus on your next step. You have your proof now. My pulse thunders. I do, clear as day. He exhales. Good. That's your leverage. Don't blow it by losing your temper. Just think about your finances, the kids. Plan your moves. I pinch the bridge of my nose. Right. I just can't believe she'd bring him to our home. With the kids' pictures on the walls. Some people have no shame. I know it doesn't help, but you'll get through this. We hang up. I feel hollow, like the floor of my world has caved in. I spend the next hour driving aimlessly, mind spinning. Eventually, I pull into an old diner parking lot. The neon sign flickers overhead, Benny's Diner. I used to grab burgers here with Alicia in our early years. The irony isn't lost on me. Inside, I order black coffee, sit in a corner booth, and watch the reflection of other customers in the window. Mostly older folks, a couple of truckers. My phone rests on the table. I glance at the footage, but I can't bring myself to watch it again. The few seconds I saw were enough to burn my mind. A waitress with kind eyes approaches. Need anything else, hun? I shake my head. Just the coffee. She nods sympathetically, as if sensing my turmoil. Holler if you change your mind. I stare at the swirling steam from the mug. Alicia is cheating. Not a suspicion, but a fact. Our marriage is shattered. The question is, what do I do now? I hear my own voice in my head. You gather yourself, protect your kids, and if necessary, take her down. Because the rage inside me demands some form of justice. After nursing the coffee for half an hour, I head home. By the time I return, Alicia's car is gone, presumably off with Grant. Fine. I'm actually relieved I don't have to see her face right now. Over the next 24 hours, I try to maintain normalcy. I go to the yard, work my shift. At home, I interact with the kids as though nothing's amiss. But inside, I'm forging a plan. I examine our joint bank accounts. We have a decent chunk of savings, most of which I contributed over the years. The mortgage is in both our names, so I can't just cut her out entirely. But I can move the majority of our savings to a new account under my name alone. That way, if she decides to file for divorce or tries to drain the funds for some romantic getaway, I won't be left bankrupt. It's not just paranoia, it's strategy. That night, while Alicia's presumably at another workshop, I open a new bank account online. I transfer a big chunk from the joint savings. My heart hammers as I watch the confirmation screen. Feels like a betrayal, but I remind myself, she betrayed you first. The next morning, I quietly cancel our credit cards and request new ones in my name. I leave one minor card active with a small limit, enough so Alicia isn't immediately suspicious. Sure enough, by the weekend, Alicia tries to use the main card at some boutique. She calls me, flustered, while I'm on my lunch break. Trevor, the card got declined. Did we forget a payment? Feigning surprise, I check my watch. Declined? That's weird. Maybe the bank's glitching. She sighs, exasperated. I'm stuck here embarrassed as hell. Can you fix it? I hide my grim satisfaction. Yeah, I'll look into it after work. Fine, she huffs, hanging up. I hear a coworker chuckle behind me. Didn't realize he was listening. He raises an eyebrow, but says nothing. I shrug, pocketing my phone. Later that day, Alicia is pacing in the living room when I get home. She leaps up. So what happened with the bank? I couldn't buy my stuff. That's not normal, Trevor. I drop my tool bag by the door. Must be an issue with direct deposit. Let's not stress about it. I'll call them Monday. She looks at me suspiciously. We're not broke, are we? Not that I'm aware of, I say evenly, walking into the kitchen for a drink of water. She follows. Something's off. We used to be okay. Now I can't even buy a dress for next week's event. Event? My jaw tenses. She probably wants to dress up for Grant. The thought makes me sick, but I keep my tone casual. We'll figure it out. She's about to argue, then her phone rings. She glances at an unknown caller, then walks away to answer. I exhale. She's more worried about her personal inconveniences than the marriage she's wrecking. By Sunday evening, Alicia seems edgy. She corners me while I'm checking the kids' homework. I need some extra cash. I have errands tomorrow. I glance at Kyle's math sheet, finishing the last check. What errands? Groceries, gas, maybe some new supplies. I can't risk another card decline. I frown. We've got basic groceries here, but fine. She crosses her arms, waiting. I open my wallet, take out a couple of 20s. This is all I have on me. She snatches them, face twisted in annoyance. $40? That's hardly enough. Use the little credit card we keep for emergencies, I say, forcing a shrug, until we sort out the bank. She scowls but doesn't push further. She's still rummaging in her mind for an explanation of why our finances are suddenly restricted, but I sense she's not connecting the dots to me. Possibly she thinks it's a glitch or we're genuinely short on funds. Either way, I'm not paying for her rendezvous with Grant. On Monday, a plain white envelope arrives in our mailbox, no return address. Inside are a few snapshots of Alicia and Grant stepping into the Lakeview Hotel in broad daylight. One photo shows him with an arm around her waist, another shows them entering a suite, presumably. The date stamped is from last Friday. I stand there in the driveway, stomach lurching. Someone else out there is watching them, sending me these photos. Could be a friend who saw them, or maybe a random who recognized Alicia from around town. Either way, it's more proof. My hand shakes with rage. She's not just disrespecting our marriage in private, she's parading around in public. The nerve. I tuck the photos into a folder labeled Evidence in my sock drawer. My life feels surreal, like I'm collecting bullet points for a twisted legal case. Late that afternoon, I'm halfway through reviewing the forklift's hydraulic lines when Freddie from work sidles up to me. "Hey man, can I ask you something personal?" My chest tightens. "Sure, I guess." Freddie hesitates. "Over the weekend, I was in town with my wife. We saw Alicia with some tall dude in a blazer. Didn't want to jump to conclusions, but they looked real cozy." My mouth goes dry. "Yeah? Where at?" "Just outside the bookstore. He had his hand on her shoulder, kind of guiding her. My wife said it looked romantic, but I told her maybe it's a cousin or something." I muster a forced laugh. "A cousin. Right." Freddie grimaces. "Sorry if this is out of line. Just wanted to give you a heads up in case you didn't know." I swallow, my voice raw. "Thanks for telling me, man. I appreciate it." He pats my shoulder. "If you need anything." He leaves, and I'm left gripping the forklift with white-knuckled fury, as if I needed more confirmation. She's out in the open with Grant, not even hiding it well. My humiliation is nearly complete. But humiliation can be turned into anger, and anger can be turned into a plan. I text Ian. "We're going full throttle." I meet up with Ian and Natalie in Ian's cluttered garage that evening. The place smells of motor oil and old leather. He's got a half-finished motorcycle on a lift, wrenches scattered everywhere. Natalie sits on a wooden stool, arms crossed. I hand them the photos plus the snippet of phone footage I downloaded from the hidden camera. They watch in grim silence as Alicia and Grant appear on the couch, kissing. Ian exhales through his teeth. Natalie's expression is pure disgust. "This is beyond suspicion," she says. "She's definitely cheating and she's rubbing your nose in it." I grit my teeth. "Yeah, the question is, what do I do about it?" Ian sets the phone down. "If you want to keep this quiet, you could confront Alicia. Try counseling. But from what you've shown me, she's not just having a fling. She's planning something bigger. Possibly an exit strategy, with or without your money." Natalie speaks up, voice low. "Have you thought about a lawyer yet?" I nod. "Ian recommended Jade Morales. She's a friend of his, a decent divorce attorney." "Good," Natalie says. "You need to protect yourself financially, and if Alicia tries to take the kids, you need ammo. You can't let her turn it around claiming you're the bad guy." Ian folds his arms. "Trev, you said you're already moving money around, right?" "Yeah, I opened a new bank account, drained most of our savings, canceled credit cards. She's still got a small one, so she doesn't get suspicious, but we're basically separated financially." Natalie smiles grimly. "Smart. But Alicia's not dumb either. She might guess you're cornering her. You gotta be ready for her retaliation." I sigh, running a hand over my face. I just hate that it's come to this. We have 2 kids, a mortgage, a life we built, and she's throwing it all away for some loser who can't even hold a legitimate job. Ian gives my shoulder a squeeze. "Focus that anger in a constructive way. Gather more evidence, see a lawyer, and decide how you want to handle custody. That's the big one." I nod. The kids are my main concern. Kyle and Emma deserve better than a mother who sneaks around behind their father's back. I've noticed their confusion, how they tiptoe around Alicia's unpredictable moods. "All right," I say finally, "let's do this. I'll call Jade Morales tomorrow, set up a meeting." Natalie grips my hand. "I'm proud of you for being calm about this. Some men would just snap." I swallow the lump in my throat. Believe me, I've thought about it, but I can't afford to lose my temper, not with so much at stake. The next day after my shift, I swing by Morales and Dell, a small law office near downtown. The waiting area is modest, a couple of chairs, a potted fern, a desk where a bored receptionist scrolls on her computer. I introduce myself, and soon I'm ushered into Jade Morales' office. She's in her late 40s, sharp eyes, hair pulled tight. She gestures for me to sit. Ian told me you'd be stopping by. Let's talk. I hand her a flash drive containing the footage of Alicia and Grant, plus the hotel snapshots. As she clicks through them, her expression remains neutral, though her eyebrows jump a bit at the living room kiss. That's fairly damning, she remarks. I nod, hands clasped. Yeah, so it's definitely an affair. Adultery in this state is a factor, Jade explains, leaning back. It won't necessarily net you a bigger settlement automatically, but it can influence spousal support and custody if the affair involved marital funds or impacted the children's well-being. I grimace. Oh, I'm sure it did. She's been funneling her time and energy into this. Possibly money, too, she jots notes. Any joint accounts? Not anymore, I say, explaining how I transferred funds. She taps her pen. Smart move. She might claim half of that as marital property, though. We'll have to show you contributed most of it. Meanwhile, keep paying the mortgage or at least a portion so you don't look like you abandoned your obligations. All right. We discuss potential custody arrangements. Jade emphasizes that if Alicia's affair threatens the children's stability, like leaving them alone to meet her lover or bringing him around them in questionable ways, I might argue for primary custody. I swallow. I just want to do what's best for my kids. If Alicia wants to keep cheating, that's her choice, but I won't pay for it, and I won't let her keep the kids away from me. Jade nods approvingly. Exactly. My advice. Keep gathering evidence discreetly. Don't confront them physically. Don't show your anger in texts or voicemails. Remain calm, rational, so if this goes to court, you look like the stable parent. I exhale, feeling a mixture of relief and dread. This is insane, but yeah, I'll do what it takes. She shakes my hand. Good. I'll start drafting some preliminary documents in case you choose to file. We'll be ready. Walking out of that office, I feel heavier and lighter at the same time. Heavier because my worst fears are materializing. Lighter because I'm no longer clueless, I have a plan. In the following days, Alicia's boldness escalates. She stays out past midnight, returns home reeking of wine and perfume that isn't hers. She's snappier with the kids, too. Once, Kyle asked her to help with a school project, and she yelled at him for not being independent enough. I watch all this in steely silence, documenting each instance in a private journal. If she's ignoring the kids or coming home drunk, I note the date and time. Jade said these details could matter. Meanwhile, I keep working overtime, stashing money in the new account. In my mind, I picture the day Alicia tries to run off with Grant, only to realize there's no easy payday waiting for her. Grant is still a mystery to me. I only know he's involved in real estate, rumored to be shady. Ian once told me he had a contact who could do a background check, and I figure that might come in handy soon. One evening, Alicia comes home in a glittering dress I've never seen before. She's carrying new high heels in a bag. She flings them off, heads to the kitchen, rummages for a bottle of water. I'm at the table reviewing the kids' schedules. Where were you tonight? I ask casually. She barely spares me a glance. An art exhibit. I nod. In that dress? She arches an eyebrow. Yeah. Is there a problem? I hold her gaze. No problem. Just curious. She laughs scornfully. Don't worry. I use my own money. I bite back a retort. Her own money is basically the small paycheck from the center, but I know she's also leaning on her new credit card for certain purchases. Let her. It only further proves she's living large on a small income, possibly with Grant's help. She tries to pass by me to go upstairs. I gently catch her wrist, not enough to hurt, just enough to get her attention. Alicia, we need to talk about us. Her eyes flash. What about us? I search her face. What's happened to us? You're never home, you're always with your phone. Are you even happy anymore? She tenses, then scoffs. Don't play the victim, Trevor. You're the one working 1,000,000 hours ignoring me. I let out a bitter laugh. Ignoring you? Really? Because from where I stand, she jerks her wrist free. I don't have time for this conversation. I'm tired. She marches upstairs. I stand there, hearing her footsteps overhead. My entire body trembles with rage and heartbreak. She's painting me as the inattentive spouse, a neat cover for her affair. But I won't let her shape the narrative unchallenged. The next morning, I meet up with Ian at a local boxing gym before work. He suggested we blow off steam physically, and I figure punching a bag might be healthier than punching Grant's face. We wrap our hands, slip on gloves, and spend a while hitting the heavy bag. With each punch, I imagine all the lies Alicia's told, all the time she dismissed me. The adrenaline surges, my heart pounds, sweat drips from my brow. Ian holds the bag steady. "Let it out, man!" I slam a right hook into the pad. She's turning everything on me. She acts like I'm the reason she's bored. Another punch. I bust my ass for this family, and she's lying to me. Ian nods, absorbing the force. Don't let that blindside you. She's likely looking for reasons to justify the affair makes it easier for her conscience. I grunt. Well, I'm done being the punching bag. I'll gather everything I need, then I'll... He shifts, so I hit the center of the pad. You'll file? Or confront her? Breathing hard, I lower my gloves. Eventually, yeah, but not until I'm sure I've protected the kids and the finances. He gives me a tight smile. You're smarter than most men in your position, Trev. Just don't let the anger consume you. I exhale, unwrapping the tape from my wrists. I won't. That's why I'm here, right? We share a tense grin. Then I shower quickly and head to the shipping yard. My arms feel like jelly, but my mind feels sharper. That day, I call my contact at the bank, an old buddy from high school who works in lending. I ask about mortgage refinances, or if there's a way to restructure the house in my favor. He says it's complicated if Alicia is a co-owner. Unless we get a divorce settlement awarding me the house, it remains joint property. I also discreetly confirm that Alicia hasn't inquired about home equity loans or lines of credit. She hasn't yet. But I wouldn't put it past her, especially if Grant is in some financial pinch. As I step outside for a break, I notice a missed call from Alicia. I grimace and call back. Hey, I say. Her tone is clipped. Why the hell did you close our main credit card? I tried to use it online, said it was canceled. I steel myself. Must be a bank error. She practically growls. All these bank errors are getting ridiculous, Trevor. You better fix it. I let a beat pass. I'll see what I can do. She hangs up. I slip the phone into my pocket, hearing Ian's voice in my head reminding me, stay calm. The next few days pass in a blur of routine and suppressed tension. Alicia leaves in the evenings, returns late. She's on her phone constantly, texting, giggling to herself, or stepping outside to talk in hushed tones. The kids and I share dinner alone most nights. I can tell they sense something is off. Emma asks, "Is Mommy mad at us?" My heart twists. She's just busy, sweetie. Everything's fine. I hate lying to my daughter, but the truth would devastate her. One afternoon, Alicia storms in, brandishing her phone. Any idea why I got an email from the bank about a large withdrawal from our savings last month? I feign ignorance. I'll have to look. She throws up her hands. God, do you even care that we could be losing money somewhere? I shrug. Relax, Alicia. We're not losing money. Maybe I shifted some funds to pay bills. She narrows her eyes. You should have told me. I stare at her. Oh, you want transparency now? Instead, I say, it slipped my mind. She scoffs. Right. If we end up broke, it's on you. She storms off again. My fists clench. The nerve, blaming me for potential financial woes while she's the one gallivanting with some man in fancy hotels. One Sunday morning, I get a text from Alicia's mother, Doris, asking if everything's okay. I realize Alicia might be complaining to her parents about money trouble. I text back politely that we're just fine, thanks for checking. 15 minutes later, Alicia's father, Hank, calls me. Hank's a decent man, though we've never been super close. He says, Trevor, my daughter's worried about finances. She told us you're mismanaging accounts? I inhale slowly. Hank, with all due respect, Alicia's not being honest about the situation. He sounds confused. What do you mean? I hesitate. It's complicated. But trust me, I'm not the one mismanaging anything. An awkward silence. All right, son, if you say so. Just don't let the kids suffer. I hang up, fists trembling. Alicia's mobilizing her family, painting me as the incompetent spouse. Fine. Let her. Once everything's out in the open, the truth will speak for itself. A week later, I get a message from Jade. She's uncovered rumors that Grant has been investigated for mortgage fraud in another county. She suggests we keep an eye on him because if Alicia is funneling our money to him, it might be connected to his shady business. Something inside me stirs. If this man is not just a homewrecker but a con artist, Alicia could be in deeper trouble than she realizes, and that might give me even more leverage if the time comes to pull the legal trigger. That night, I mention it to Ian and Natalie at a quick get-together in my living room. The kids are at a neighbor's house playing, so we have privacy. Ian flips through some papers Jade emailed me. This guy, Grant, seems to jump from one real estate venture to another, leaving behind lawsuits and bankrupt companies. Natalie scowls. So Alicia's hooking up with a known scammer. She's a bigger fool than I thought. I snort. She probably believes he's just a successful businessman. Ian sighs. Trev, if he gets indicted or something, and Alicia's tied to him financially, that could affect you. She might try to use your joint assets to bail him out. Keep an eye on the mortgage, any potential lines of credit. I rub my temples. Yeah, I already told the bank not to authorize anything without my signature. If Alicia tries to pull a home equity loan, I'll know. Natalie nods approvingly. Good, because otherwise you could wake up one day, find your house leveraged to the hilt, and she's run off. A surge of renewed determination flows through me. Not on my watch. Later that night, I step outside onto the back porch. The sky is clear, stars bright. My breath forms little clouds in the cool air. I can't sleep, my mind spinning with all the threads of this twisted situation. So I dial Ian again, voice low so Alicia doesn't hear. I want to confront her, I admit. I want to throw the proof in her face, watch her squirm. He's silent for a beat. That's satisfying short-term, but do you have everything in place financially? Enough evidence compiled? Is Jade ready to file if you push that button? I sigh. We're close. Jade says I have more than enough to prove adultery, but maybe we should gather a bit more on the financial side. Ian's voice is calm, almost paternal. Then hold off. Let her think you're clueless. Keep transferring funds. Watch her patterns. The moment you tip your hand, she'll either beg for forgiveness or lash out. Better you control the narrative. I close my eyes. I know. I'm just so angry. She's lying to me and humiliating me. Bringing that jerk into our home, for God's sake. Ian's tone is understanding. Channel that anger. You'll get your day. For now, keep building the case. Let her be the one who steps too far. Then you hit her with everything. I exhale shakily. All right. Thanks, man. We hang up. I stare at the stars until my breathing steadies. Alicia's betrayal might rip me apart if I don't remain methodical. I have to remain in control for myself, for Kyle and Emma. I decide right then. I'll do exactly what Ian suggests. Stay quiet. Keep building evidence. Because soon enough, Alicia and Grant will regret underestimating me. A week goes by, tension coiled like a spring in the house. Alicia's usual pattern of late nights has grown more frequent. Sometimes she even stays out overnight, texting me some flimsy excuse about a teacher retreat or emergency help for a friend. Kyle and Emma are confused, but I lie and say Mom has important projects. Inside, my fury simmers. I keep transferring money, stashing it away, logging each suspicious moment. Jade's quietly drafting divorce papers, waiting for my signal. Then one afternoon, Alicia calls me at work, voice laced with anger. Why did the insurance get canceled? I got a letter saying our auto policy is terminated. I wipe sweat from my brow. I switched to a new plan. You're no longer on it. Didn't want to pay for a second driver we barely use. She sputters. Are you kidding? I need insurance, Trevor. I shrug, though she can't see me. Feel free to get your own policy. It's easy enough. She's silent for a long beat. You're doing this on purpose. You want to make me miserable. Well, guess what? If you're picking a fight, you'll regret it. I keep my tone icy. Is that a threat? She exhales into the phone. I'll divorce you. Take the kids, everything. You can't do this to me. I sense my blood boiling. We'll see about that, Alicia. She slams the phone. My coworker Freddie glances my way, concern on his face. I force a nod as if to say I'm good, but really I'm shaking inside. She just threatened me, which means I'm getting under her skin. That evening, I get home to find Alicia pacing in the living room, arms folded. The kids are at a neighbor's, so it's just us. Perfect for a confrontation. "Trevor," she says, voice trembling with rage, "what the hell is going on with our finances? Our mortgage, insurance, credit cards, everything's messed up." I step past her, set my keys on the table. Not messed up, just restructured. She jabs a finger at me. "Don't be coy. We can't survive this way." I exhale slowly, turning to face her. "Maybe you should have thought of that before your endless workshops and nights out." She flinches, then narrows her eyes. "Those are legitimate. You're the one draining accounts. You want me to starve?" I take a slow breath, remembering Ian's advice. Don't blow up. "No, Alicia. I just think we should each be responsible for our own expenses. We have separate lives, apparently." She looks taken aback by my composure. "Separate lives? You're my husband." I let a bitter laugh escape. Am I? Could have fooled me. She opens her mouth to retort when her phone buzzes. She glances at it, and I see a flicker of guilt cross her face. She quickly silences it. "Look, if you keep this up, I'll file for divorce, and I'll make sure I get what I deserve: child support, alimony, the house." My anger surges. I keep my voice level, though. "Go ahead." That startles her. "Excuse me?" I shrug. "You heard me. File if you want. I'm done playing around." She stares at me, uncertainty mingling with fury. "I mean it, Trevor. I'll ruin you." I step closer, gaze locked on hers. "Keep talking, Alicia. Let's see who ends up ruined." We stand there in a silent standoff, the air crackling with hostility. Then her phone buzzes again and she storms off to answer it, cursing under her breath. My heart pounds. I realize that was the first time I let her see the steel in my resolve. Later that night, I'm in the garage tinkering with my old Chevy truck, half to distract myself, half to avoid Alicia. She must have left at some point because I notice her car is gone around 9 p.m. around 10. I hear a frantic banging on the front door. I rush out, open it to find a tear-streaked Alicia. "I had an accident," she stammers. "Rear-ended some guy's car." I step onto the porch, spot her scuffed bumper. "You okay?" She nods, breath heaving. "I'm fine, but the other driver was pissed. Said he might call the cops. I tried calling you, but you didn't answer." I check my phone, no missed calls. She's lying about that too. Or maybe I didn't hear it. Doesn't matter. "Where's your friend?" I ask pointedly, suspecting she was with Grant. She avoids my eyes. He was busy. Look, can you just drive me to pick up the kids?" I snort. "You want my help now?" A tear slides down her cheek. "Please, Trevor, I'm shaken up." Despite my anger, I decide not to be a total bastard in front of the kids. "Fine, let's go." As we drive, she's quiet, except for occasional sniffles. I sense the adrenaline wearing off, leaving her raw. But I also notice she doesn't mention calling the police or exchanging insurance info. Maybe she's realized she no longer has coverage under my plan. We arrive at the neighbor's place, gather Kyle and Emma, who are half asleep. On the ride home, Alicia keeps glancing at me like she wants to talk, but the kids fill the silence with random chatter. After the kids are tucked in, Alicia corners me in the hallway. I'm sorry," she whispers, eyes reed-rimmed. "I was just so stressed with the finances and everything." I eye her carefully. "You should have insurance on your own car. I'm not responsible anymore." She stares at the floor. I know. Part of me wants to comfort her, the woman I once adored. But I recall the images of her and Grant in my living room. The bitterness resurfaces. "Get some sleep," I say, stepping past her. She grabs my arm. "Trevor, wait. We can't keep living like this, always at each other's throats. Can't we just talk it out?" I fix her with a hard stare. "Talk about what? The fact you're never home, always lying about where you are, or the credit cards, or your new art exhibits? Which part should we discuss?" Her lip trembles. "You're the one who's changed, Trevor. You're shutting me out financially and emotionally. If you want to fix things, you have to meet me halfway." I almost laugh in disbelief. Fix things? She's delusional if she thinks I'm the problem. But I just say, "Sure, I'll meet you halfway when you stop lying." She flinches as though slapped, then storms into the bedroom, slamming the door. Next afternoon, I'm fiddling with some invoices at work when my phone pings with a message from Jade Morales. Got more info on Grant. Might be worth a meeting. My pulse quickens. I step aside and call her. She reveals that Grant's name has popped up in an ongoing real estate investigation. Something about forging documents. Alicia better not be part of that. Jade suggests we keep monitoring. If Alicia tries to sign any joint loan or mortgage extension, that's a red flag. I assure her I'm on high alert. That evening, I come home to find Alicia scowling at the kitchen table, flipping through a stack of bills. She glances up. All these are overdue or canceled. Is that your plan to sabotage our entire household? I drop my jacket on a chair. Our household? You sure it's still ours? She stands, slamming a bill down. I can't even pay the electric bill if you don't deposit money in the joint account. The kids need lights, Trevor. I grit my teeth. Don't bring the kids into this. If they need anything, I'll handle it directly. She tosses the bill aside, tears brimming. You've become such an A. She stops herself. You're punishing me, but you're punishing them too. I laugh harshly. Really? Because last I checked, I still buy groceries, pay for the kids' sports, cover the mortgage. You're the one who's run off every night. You want a separate life, you got it. She flares with anger, then lowers her voice. This is impossible. I can't live like this. I cross my arms. You could try honesty, Alicia. She opens her mouth to respond, but the doorbell rings. We both freeze. She glances at the door nervously. Are we expecting anyone? I shake my head, a strange feeling swirling in my gut. No. We approach the door and Alicia pulls it open. A man stands there, tall, dark hair, slicked back Grant. My chest goes cold. He looks equally surprised to see me, but recovers quickly. Hello, he says, clearing his throat. Alicia, we need to talk. I step forward. What the hell are you doing at my house? He eyes me with forced calm. I'm just here to discuss some personal matters with Alicia. She throws him a mortified look. Grant, I told you not to come here. He lifts his hands in mock surrender. I had no choice. You weren't answering my calls. I'm on the verge of lunging at him, but I remember. Don't lose it. I suck in a breath. You have a lot of nerve showing your face here. Grant glances at me, then smirks, like he's used to handling confrontation. Look, I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need Alicia's signature on a few documents. Documents? I echo. Alicia pales. Grant, we can't. He pulls out a folder. We discussed this. If we move fast, we can secure the property. But I need that signature by tomorrow. My pulse slams in my ears. Property? You two are buying property? With what money? Grant doesn't look at me, focuses on Alicia. Should I come back when you're alone? She hesitates, trembling. No, maybe we should talk outside. I block the doorway. Not so fast, this is my house, and if you're discussing property under my name or my finances, I damn well have a say. Grant sighs like I'm a pesky child. Look, Alicia has every right to invest as she sees fit, unless you two are controlling each other's money, which is definitely how it looks. I bristle, fists clenching. Don't talk to me about controlling. You're a stranger who's messing with my wife. Alicia steps between us, voice shaking. Stop, both of you. Grant, we can't do this right now. He snorts. Fine, but remember, time is money, Alicia. If you don't sign, we lose the deal. Then he eyes me defiantly. I'll be waiting in the car. He spins on his heel and walks away. I stand there, breathing heavily. Alicia rubs her temples. You're buying property with him, I demand, voice shaking with rage. She presses her lips together. It's complicated. I laugh bitterly. Complicated. Great word for betraying your husband financially and emotionally. She trembles. He told me it was a great investment opportunity. He said it could help us get out of debt, fix our financial issues. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're insane if you think investing with that jerk is a solution. He's conning you. Tears spill down her cheeks. You don't understand. I'm drowning. You cut me off. We have bills piling up. He offered me a way out. I slam my palm against the door frame. That's your excuse for hooking up with him? Because I made life difficult by not letting you cheat on me with my own money? She flinches. It's not just about that. He said he cares about me. He's there for me when you're not. My head spins with disgust. Then go to him. But don't you dare drag my finances or my kids into your little fantasy world. She bites her lip, tears glistening. Trevor, I never wanted it to go this far. I snarl. Too late. Now get out. Go handle your deal. She grabs her purse and stumbles out to Grant's car. I stand there, breath heaving as the tension thrums in my veins. After about 10 minutes, I see her slip back in, eyes red. She clenches her phone. He's gone. We ended up arguing. I glare at her. Good. Don't bring him around my house again. She collapses onto the couch, head in her hands. What have I done? I remain standing, arms crossed. My anger is a shield. You tell me. Her phone dings. She doesn't even look at it. Grant's furious. He thinks you're sabotaging everything. I give a cold laugh. Gee, wonder why. Maybe because I won't let him or you use my money to buy property behind my back. She sniffles, looking lost. I needed a way out of this financial mess. He said we could flip a house, pay off debts, fix our marriage. I almost choke at the irony. Flip a house to fix our marriage? That's a new one. She meets my gaze with desperation. You have to believe me, Trevor. I didn't plan to hurt you. I hold up a hand. Stop. I'm done listening to excuses. My sympathy ended when you started bringing your lover into our home. She chokes on a sob, burying her face in her palms. I stand there, a swirl of pity and rage pounding in my chest. Eventually, I turn away. Kids will be back soon. Pull yourself together. That's the night I finalize my plan with Jade. I send her a quick text. I'm ready to file at a moment's notice. Let me know what else I need. She replies, Understood. Keep documenting everything. Alicia barely speaks to me for the next couple of days, living like a ghost in the house. Meanwhile, I sense Grant's pressure building. He might push Alicia to do something drastic. One morning, I find Alicia rummaging through the kitchen drawers, looking for something. She startles when I walk in. Do you know where my checkbook is? My pulse spikes. Why? She fiddles with her hair. I have errands, bills to pay. I cross my arms. Didn't you get some cash from your boyfriend? Or are you two on the outs now? She flushes. That's not fair. I snort. None of this is fair, Alicia. She storms off without a word. That afternoon, I get a message from one of Alicia's so-called friends. Jade, a different Jade, ironically, sends me a cryptic tip. You should keep an eye on your wife's daytime activities. She's not where she says she is. A chill runs down my spine. Has Alicia resumed meeting Grant, or is there another twist? I thank Jade for the heads-up, heart heavy with the knowledge that everything in Alicia's life has become suspicious. A few hours later, Alicia bursts in, phone pressed to her ear, tears glistening. She ends the call with a shaky breath. Grant might be in trouble with the law. Something about an investigation. I feign surprise, but inside I'm not shocked. Jade Morales told me about it. Oh? You mean your knight in shining armor is a crook? Who knew? She stammers, He told me it's all lies, but he wants me to co-sign a loan. I bark a disbelieving laugh. Perfect. He wants you to bail him out while dragging me into it. She looks away, voice trembling. I said no. Then he got angry, said if I back out, he'd find someone else. I just shake my head. Not my problem. That night, Alicia tries to talk to me again while I'm flipping through the kids' homework. She stands by the living room doorway, arms hugging herself. Trevor, I know we've been fighting, but maybe we can fix this. If we just... I lift a hand, exhausted by her sudden mood swings. Stop. This mask you're wearing pretending you want to fix things after all the lies and betrayal, it's off. I see you, Alicia. She flinches, tears forming. I never wanted it to end like this. I'm just lost. I gather the homework papers, stand up. Then find yourself somewhere else. Her expression crumples. So that's it? I stare her down, my voice calm but edged with finality. For now, yeah. If you want to keep hooking up with Grant, or do whatever shady deals, that's on you. But don't expect me to fund it or protect you from the consequences. She lets out a trembling breath. I'm sorry. I walk past her, heading to the kids' rooms. Yeah, me too. In my mind, though, I'm preparing for the final strike divorce papers ready to land on her unsuspecting head. Because the mask is off, and so is the last shred of my trust in her. Sometimes it hits me like a punch in the gut, how quickly a life you've built over years can unravel in a matter of weeks. I'm sitting in the half-finished den, a space that used to be Alicia's art lounge, ironically. The walls are dotted with paint swatches. She planned to repaint the entire room a bright turquoise this summer. Now the project is abandoned, like so many things. There's a cool draft sneaking in from beneath the window. I watch dust motes drifting in the late afternoon light. I'm alone in the house. Alicia's gone, presumably to the community center or some meeting with Grant. The kids are at my sister Natalie's place for the evening, which means for a rare moment I have total solitude. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Freddie, my coworker. Freddie, 4:07 p.m. Heard Alicia's man is in trouble. W/cops. You okay? Let me know if you need anything. I stare at the words. The rumor mill at the shipping yard seems to have latched onto the scandal. Word about Grant's alleged fraud or pending investigation is spreading fast. People either pity me or celebrate the gossip. Maybe both. I type back a quick, "Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking." Am I good? Hardly. But the performance must continue until I've secured everything, both legally and emotionally. I stand, moving to the living room window. A swirl of old leaves scrapes along the driveway. I think about how this used to be a lively home music playing, kids laughing, Alicia scolding me for leaving my boots on the rug. Now it feels like a battleground. The tension is so thick, even the walls seem to hold their breath. Natalie calls around 5 p.m. "Hey, how about you come over for dinner? The kids are having a blast, but Kyle's worried about you. He says you seemed upset yesterday." I let out a rough exhale. I'm holding up. Dinner might be good, though. I've had enough of staring at these walls. She picks up on the heaviness in my voice. "You sure? We can just keep the kids overnight, give you space." I close my eyes. "No, I'd like to see them. Otherwise, I'll stew in my own thoughts." "Understood," she says softly. "Come by around 6. We'll order takeout, watch something stupid on TV." "Thanks, Nat." My older sister's become my rock in ways I never expected. She went through a rough divorce years ago. Her ex-husband was a drinker who cheated shamelessly. She left him with a baby in tow. Perhaps that's why she's so protective of me now, seeing parallels. I grab my jacket, lock the house, and drive to her place. The evening sky is tinted with gold and pink, a mocking beauty I can't fully appreciate these days. Everything in me is clenched tight, coiled like a spring. Natalie's modest home is warm and bright, the very antithesis of the tension I left behind. My niece, Laura, squeals when she sees me. She's 6, curly-haired, always wearing mismatched socks. She runs up, hugging my leg. "Uncle Trev, we're coloring pictures. Want to join?" Kyle and Emma are in the corner, each with a coloring book. They wave, Kyle giving me a wide grin. Emma leaps up to hug me. "Daddy, did you finish working on your car?" I rumple her hair. "Not today, sweetie. Maybe tomorrow we'll check the brakes." She nods, satisfied. At times I wonder how much of the tension between me and Alicia the kids truly understand. They sense it, obviously. But do they realize our marriage is on the brink? That their mother is off with another man half the time? Natalie beckons me to the kitchen. She's got a cluster of takeout menus spread across the counter. Chinese, pizza, or subs? I shrug. Whatever's easiest. Pizza, maybe? The kids love pepperoni. Pizza it is. She glances toward the living room. "They talk about you a lot, you know. They're worried something's wrong with Mom. I told them she's just busy." My jaw tightens. "Appreciate you covering. She's definitely busy. All right." Natalie arches a brow. "So, how's that fiasco going?" I sigh. Grant's pressuring her to sign real estate documents. Jade says he's under investigation for fraud. Alicia's in denial or panic, I can't tell. She threatened to divorce me if I don't fix our money issues. She makes a face. That's rich, given she's the one messing around. So are you filing first? I nod. Soon. I need one more piece. A record that she attempted a mortgage or loan with him. That'll prove she's endangering our finances. Then I'll drop the hammer. Natalie sets a hand on my shoulder. Good. I just don't want you blindsided. And you know the kids can stay here any time if it gets messy. Thank you, I say, voice tight with emotion. "You've been a lifesaver." She smiles gently. "You deserve better, Trev." Before I can respond, we hear a small commotion, Lara squealing, Emma giggling, Kyle shouting for help because the crayons keep rolling off the table. We share a look of mutual amusement and head in to rescue them from the avalanche of crayons. An hour later, pizza boxes lie open on the coffee table, the kids devouring slices while a random Disney movie plays. I lounge on Natalie's sofa, feeling a fleeting sense of normalcy. The only missing piece is Alicia. Usually she'd be here too, but everything's changed. After the kids finish, Natalie nudges them to her daughter's room with the promise of a silly board game. She then plops down beside me. "So, what's the next step?" I rub my face. "Well, I have the evidence of the affair videos, pictures. Jade said we're set. The finances are in my control, though Alicia's furious about it. My fear is she might try something desperate if Grant pushes her." Natalie winces. "Like forging your signature?" I grimace. "Wouldn't put it past them, especially if Grant's in deep legal trouble." "Then you better keep watch over any important documents. Lock them up if you have to." "Good call." She hands me a soda from the side table, letting the hush settle. Then she softly asks, "Do you still love her?" The question hits me like a punch. My throat tightens. I don't even know anymore. I love the woman. She used to be fun, caring, a great mom. Now she's just a stranger. Natalie nods sympathetically. "It's normal to grieve the marriage you thought you had. Take your time, though. Don't rush to finalize your decision out of pure anger." I huff a bitter laugh. Anger's about all I have left. That and heartbreak. She pats my knee. "You're allowed both." We fall silent, the background noise of cartoon voices wafting in from the next room. It's painfully comforting. For a moment, I almost believe everything will be okay. But the dread in my gut reminds me the worst might still lie ahead. I drive the kids home after 8 p.m. Alicia's car is in the driveway. The porch light is off, which is unusual. She normally leaves it on for us. I feel a swirl of apprehension as we step inside. The living room is dark except for the flicker of a TV that's on mute. Alicia sits on the couch, arms folded, eyes red and swollen like she's been crying for hours. Emma senses the tension. She slides her hand into mine. "Daddy, can we go upstairs?" I nod. "Yeah, bud. Kyle, take your sister bath, PJs, then a little reading, okay?" Kyle glances uncertainly at Alicia, then nods, leading Emma away. Once they're gone, Alicia meets my gaze with a hollow look. "We need to talk." I flick the lamp on, dropping my keys on the side table. "What's up?" She exhales shakily. "Grant is gone. He packed some bags, told me he's leaving town for a bit. Something about avoiding police questioning." Her voice quavers. "He said I betrayed him by not signing the property deal." A twisted sense of satisfaction flickers in my chest. "You mean you told him no?" She nods, tears slipping down her cheeks. Yeah, I refused. Because I realized it was insane to co-sign a property with someone under federal investigation. He got mad, said I was worthless to him now, and he left." I swallow. "So that's it? No more illusions of your better future with him?" She bites her lip, tears intensifying. "Apparently not. I was just a convenience, I guess." Then, a heartbeat later, she adds, "I never wanted it to happen like this. I'm sorry." Part of me pities her. Another part wants to scream, "You brought this on yourself." But I simply say, "If you're expecting me to console you because your affair partner bailed, you're out of luck." She winces, wiping her nose. "I know I can't expect sympathy. I messed up everything." I push down a surge of conflicting emotions. "So now what? You want me to pat your back and say it's okay? Because it's not." She looks around the room as if seeing it for the first time. I don't know. I feel empty, scared. I realize how stupid I was, believing he cared about me. Silence thickens. I can't find a shred of comfort to offer her. My anger simmers hot. "Why are you telling me all this? Are you trying to fix things or just vent your regrets?" She grimaces. "I guess both. Or maybe I just need to face the consequences. I know you're probably done with me, but we share kids, a house. I just don't want to make the kids suffer." The mention of the kids stings. I fold my arms. I'll never let them suffer, which is why I took financial measures. Because if you had gone through with that property deal, We'd be bankrupt by now. She lowers her head. You're right. Those 2 words, you're right, catch me off guard. This is the first time in months she's admitted wrongdoing so plainly. It rattles me, but I don't drop my guard. She's just lost her lover. She could be desperate for support. That doesn't erase her betrayal. I clear my throat. I'm going to put the kids to bed. We'll talk tomorrow. But don't read too much into this. I haven't decided anything. She nods silently as I walk past her, heart pounding with the weight of this complicated, miserable situation. Despite Alicia's meltdown, my course remains set. The next morning, she's subdued, moving around the kitchen making breakfast for the kids, something she hasn't done in weeks. She tries to act normal, chatting about school lunches. Kyle eyes her warily, unsure if this new maternal warmth is real. I quickly check my phone. A text from Jade Morales. Rumor from my paralegal friend, Grant might be indicted soon. Keep your eyes open for any leftover legal entanglements W/Alicia. Great, so that's moving fast. If Grant's indicted, Alicia could face questions too, especially if there's any paper trail linking them financially. My mind churns with the potential fallout. Another part of me is relieved that the scumbag is finally facing some accountability. Alicia glances over. Is that work? Yeah, I say, pocketing the phone. I have a shift soon. She hesitates. I'm thinking of going back to the community center this afternoon, see if I still have hours. Get some stable income. I nod without much emotion. Do what you need to do. Then I turn to Kyle. Ready for school, buddy? I'll drop you off. He smiles, grabbing his backpack. Emma tugs on my sleeve. Me too, Daddy. You got it, Princess. I ruffle her hair. Let's go. Alicia seems to wilt a little, possibly realizing how separate from us she's become. But she says nothing. I usher the kids outside. This is our new normal, at least until I finalize the next step. Late afternoon at the yard, I'm sorting through some old equipment logs in the staff break room when Dom, my supervisor, steps in. He's a thick-set guy with a mustache that twitches when he's stressed. Everything okay, Trevor? You've been on edge. Missed some details in the forklift maintenance logs yesterday. I tense. Sorry, Dom. Got personal stuff going on? He folds his arms. Look, you're a reliable worker, but if you have some crisis at home, maybe take a few days off? I open my mouth to protest, but realize he's trying to help. I appreciate the concern, Dom, but I need the hours. Financially, it's kind of tight. He nods slowly. All right, but if it gets worse, come talk to me. I don't want you messing up your record or risking safety on the job. I swallow the lump in my throat. Thanks. I'll keep that in mind. He pats my shoulder in a fatherly way, then heads out. I slump into a chair, burying my face in my hands. My personal life is creeping into my work. That can't happen. I need to stay sharp. The last thing I need is to lose my job on top of everything else. Ian calls that evening just as I'm leaving the yard. Traffic on the main road is sluggish, so I pick up, putting him on speaker. How's it hanging? He asks. I bark a humorless laugh. Alicia claims Grant left town, which means she's borderline begging for a lifeline now. She's realized how far she's fallen, or so she says. Gonna soften up on her? I sigh. I can't just forget the affair or the betrayal. She threatened to divorce me, tried to shift blame. Now that Grant's gone, she's sorry? It's too convenient. Ian hums. Agreed. She might just be backpedaling because the money train vanished. So, you plan to finalize divorce soon? I drum my fingers on the steering wheel. I'm close. Jade's ready whenever I say the word. I want to ensure there's no new bombshell, like Alicia forging my name on something, or them pulling a last-minute con. If Grant's indicted, Alicia might get dragged into court as a potential accomplice. That could make custody simpler for me, ironically. Ian exhales. So you're waiting a bit in case things get worse for them? Yeah, that's the plan. Meanwhile, I keep receipts, maintain finances, watch her moves. He grunts approval. Smart. But don't wait too long. The kids deserve clarity soon. The mention of the kids tugs at me. I know. I'm not stalling for fun. I just need the best outcome for them. Ian lowers his voice. They're lucky to have you, Trev. Some guys would have snapped. Keep that calm. You're doing the right thing. Thanks, I mutter, feeling a swirl of gratitude and exhaustion. I'll keep you posted. I hang up, navigating the slow traffic with a clenched jaw. The shimmering streetlights reflect off the asphalt, a constant reminder that life in this town keeps moving, no matter how stuck I feel in my personal crisis. When I get home, the kids are in their rooms, and Alicia stands in the kitchen, trying to cook something. The smell of burnt onions hits me. She glances up, half embarrassed. I tried making stir-fry. I guess I scorched it. I step closer, seeing the charred bits in the pan. My stomach twists in an odd sympathy, remembering how once upon a time she used to brag about her cooking. It's okay. We can salvage it, or order pizza. She sets the spoon down, wiping her forehead. I wanted to do something normal, but everything I do lately feels off. I lean against the counter, arms crossed. The kids eat? She nods. I fed them the non-burnt parts. Then, with a shaky breath, she says, Trevor, I know we're not magically fixing this, but can we at least not be enemies? I tilt my head, scanning her face. She looks drained, eyes puffy. Enemies? Maybe not, but don't expect me to pretend everything's fine. She lowers her gaze. I get that. I'm going to the community center tomorrow, see if I can pick up extra hours. Maybe that'll help me pay some bills. I nod tersely. That'd be good. The kids deserve stability. My tone is clipped factual, not kind. She flinches. Right. An awkward silence stretches. I feel the weight of unspoken truths pressing in. The memory of her and Grant on our couch surfaces, fueling my resentment. She seems to sense my anger, stepping back from the conversation. Eventually, I give a curt nod. Good night, Alicia. Then I walk away, leaving her standing in the kitchen, flicking off the stove and staring at the burnt pan in silence. Later, I sit in the living room, reviewing documents. Jade sent me a preliminary divorce petition, a child custody proposal. My chest tightens reading the language. Adultery, irreconcilable differences, primary custody requested by petitioner, Trevor Connolly. Everything looks so official, a cold summary of our shattered marriage. The legal jargon might as well read, all your illusions are dead, sign here to confirm. Yet there's an odd sense of relief that I have this blueprint. If Alicia or Grant tries any new stunt, I can file immediately. By midnight, the house is dark. The kids are asleep. Alicia's in the guest room. She moved there a few days ago, likely too guilty or ashamed to share a bed. I slip the documents back into my locked file box in my closet. Then I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, listening for any signs of movement. Nothing but the hush of night. My final thought before drifting off. Soon, I'll be free of this hell. And I'm not sure if that thought calms me or terrifies me. Morning edges in with a somber haze. I wake to the alarm's grating beeps, wishing I could roll over and vanish into sleep again. But reality is relentless. The kids need breakfast. I have to keep earning a paycheck, and Alicia's meltdown is an ever-present cloud. I throw on jeans and a flannel heading downstairs. The house is quiet, too quiet. I find Alicia sitting at the kitchen table hunched over her phone, an unopened box of cereal next to her. She glances up with puffy eyes. Kids still asleep? Yeah, I murmur, checking the clock. I'll wake them soon. She looks down, fiddling with her phone. I called the community center director. She said they can give me a few more art classes to teach. I might get enough hours to pay my share of bills. I nod. Good. Then in a calmer tone, I add, that'll help, especially if you're serious about moving forward alone. She exhales shakily. I am. I have to be. Grant's gone, and I can't rely on you for money if you're shutting me out. A flicker of sympathy stirs in me, but I squash it. We have kids, Alicia. I'm not shutting you out from them, just from draining our accounts. She stiffens but doesn't fight me on it. I know. I hate that it's come to this. Without replying, I open the fridge. My heart twists as I recall the earlier years. We used to plan breakfast together, share silly morning routines. Now we can barely stand in the same room. The betrayal stands like a wall between us. I set out some bread and eggs. Let's just handle the morning. We can talk later. She sighs. Fine. At the yard, I'm finishing up a forklift repair when my phone buzzes. A message from Jade Morales. Alicia's lawyer reached out. She might be exploring legal counsel. Heads up. My breath catches. So Alicia's possibly meeting with an attorney to figure out her next move. Maybe she's not quite as helpless as she's acted since Grant left. I swallow the knot in my throat. Trevor? Freddie calls, noticing my distraction. Dom wants an update on that forklift. I snap back. Right. Just finishing. Tell him it should be good to go in an hour. Freddie nods, stepping away. I wipe sweat from my brow, rereading Jade's text. If Alicia's lawyering up, she might try to push for joint custody or demand spousal support. But we have evidence of her affair, plus my financial preparedness. My chest tightens with anxiety. This is about to become a real legal war. After clocking out, I drive straight to Jade's office. She's a non-nonsense woman, short silver hair and sharp eyes behind reading glasses. She greets me in the small conference room. Trevor, thanks for coming in on short notice. Alicia's apparently spoken to a local firm, Brenson & Park. They have a rep for aggressively pursuing spousal support if there's a disparity in income. I sit, fiddling with my ball cap. What are we looking at? She lays out some papers. Worst case, they claim Alicia left the workforce to care for the kids, so she's entitled to some spousal maintenance. But we have strong counters. 1, you've proven she's adulterous. 2, she does have partial employment opportunities at the art center. 3, you've been providing for the kids while she was with her lover. I rub my forehead. I just don't want to pay her to keep living, especially after her affair. Jade nods sympathetically. I get it. The law can be complex. The affair might sway the court, or they might see it as irrelevant. But we'll emphasize that her actions directly harmed the family finances. I exhale. Okay, so if she files for divorce first, do I lose any advantage? Not necessarily. In some states, the petitioner or the respondent can request the same relief. But psychologically, the spouse who files can appear more prepared. We can file before she does, if you're ready. My heart thuds. Let me think. She's still living in the house. The kids are stable for now. If I throw divorce papers at her, it might cause chaos. Jade nods, leaning back in her chair. Chaos is inevitable, but timing is your choice. I just want you to be prepared that she might file any day. I stare at the swirling patterns on the table. Understood. She taps a folder. Also, some news. Rumors swirl that Grant's about to be indicted. If that happens, Alicia might be questioned. If she's implicated, it could help your custody case. Courts don't like parents entangled in fraud or shady deals. My mouth goes dry. So that's a factor too? She shrugs. Potentially. We'll keep an eye on it. For now, my advice, keep your cool. If Alicia's lawyer contacts you or tries to scare you, forward everything to me. I stand, shaking her hand. My mind reels with the complexity. Thanks, Jade. Leaving her office, the late spring sun blinds me for a moment. I wonder if there's a metaphor in that, stepping out of the darkness of suspicion into the harsh glare of legal battles. I get home to find Alicia in a quiet conversation with Doris, her mother, by the front porch. Doris looks up, surprise flickering across her face as I park. I kill the engine, stepping out. Alicia's arms are folded, eyes downcast. Doris greets me stiffly. Trevor, hi. Evening, Doris. I sense the tension. In the past, Doris was always sweet to me, but now I suspect Alicia's fed her a different narrative. Alicia murmurs, "We were just talking about, well, I told Mom about Grant." I keep my voice neutral. "Did you mention his potential indictment, or just that he ran off?" She cringes. Doris frowns at me. "Alicia told me the gist. That man used her for some real estate scam, then left. It's terrible." I clamp down on an angry retort. She used me too. Instead, I say evenly, "Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's also the consequence of Alicia's choices." Alicia flinches, tears in her eyes. Doris sighs, stepping away from them. "I'm going to wait in the car, Alicia. Let me know if you need anything else, dear." With that, Doris heads to her sedan. Alicia rubs her arms, not meeting my gaze. She wanted to check on me. She thinks, well, she's blaming me for messing up, obviously, but also she blames you for pushing me away. I cross my arms. People can blame me all they want. I know the truth. She exhales. I told her it's not that simple, but anyway, she wants me to move back with them. I said no, Not yet. I need to see if we can fix anything. A swirl of conflicting emotions hits me. Fix anything? Alicia, we're beyond patching up. You're possibly seeking legal counsel from what I hear. She looks startled. How did you? I only had one phone conversation. I haven't decided anything. My jaw sets. Don't lie. If you're talking to Brenson and Park, I know exactly what that means. She stammers. I just wanted to ask about my rights if we separate. I'm scared, Trevor. I need to know if I'll be left penniless. Rage rises in me. Your fear is exactly why I protected our assets. This is on you, Alicia. Her tears fill her eyes again. I'm sorry, okay? I messed up. But I can't live in limbo either. If you want a divorce, maybe we should just get it over with. I swallow a painful lump. Don't put this on me to make the call. You cheated. You threatened me with divorce. Now you're crying about being broke. She sobs quietly, turning away. My fists clench, guilt and anger warring in me. The kid's laughter from inside breaks the tension. She wipes her tears, enters the house. I stand there a moment longer, chest tight with sorrow. Then I follow. Later that evening, Natalie drops by unannounced. She brings leftover cookies from a work function, handing me the container with a wry grin. Figured you could use some comfort sweets. I force a small smile. Thanks. Want some coffee? Sure. Kids around? I gesture upstairs. They're finishing homework. Alicia's in her room or something. Natalie nods, stepping into the kitchen with me. She lowers her voice. I heard Alicia might be consulting lawyers. That true? I let out a weary breath. Yeah. Jade confirmed it. Alicia's mother was here, apparently pushing her to move out. Alicia hasn't decided. Natalie sets her purse down, frustration etched on her face. I hate seeing you in this limbo. You either file or she does. The kids are stuck in the middle. I slump at the kitchen table, burying my face in my hands. I know. Jade says I can file any moment. But maybe I'm waiting to see if Grant's indictment drags Alicia under. That'd strengthen my custody case. She sits opposite me, resting a hand on my forearm. Don't get lost in the revenge aspect. I know you want full custody, but your kids also love their mom. They might resent you if they think you orchestrated her downfall. I flinch. The word revenge stings. I'm not trying to punish her at the kids' expense. I just want them safe and not paying for her mistakes. Natalie nods. Right. Just keep perspective. Alicia might be an awful wife right now, but she's still their mother. We share a loaded silence. Then I stand, rummaging for coffee. As I brew a fresh pot, I recall the days Alicia and I used to banter in this very kitchen, exchanging silly jokes while the aroma of coffee filled the air. Now it's overshadowed by distrust and legal threats. Natalie's voice is soft behind me. Just promise me you won't let anger overshadow what's best for the kids. I blink away sudden moisture in my eyes. I promise. That same night, after the kids are asleep, Alicia knocks on my makeshift bedroom door. I let her in, feeling a swirl of caution. She stands there, hands clasped. Trevor, about the lawyer thing, I'm not rushing to sue you if that's what you think. I feel lost. My mom's urging me to get some security. She thinks you'll cut me off entirely. I keep my face impassive. Well, your mother's not entirely wrong. I'm not paying your personal expenses after all this. She nods. I understand. I guess I just want to be sure I won't lose the kids. Anger flares. You think you deserve equal custody after everything? She swallows. I still love them. I made mistakes, but I'm their mom. I rub my temples, trying not to snap. I'm not denying you visitation, Alicia, but you have to earn trust back. You spent months ignoring them, chasing some affair. That's not good parenting. She bows her head. I know. I can't change the past, but I'm trying to do better. I really am. Silence crackles between us. I sense genuine remorse in her voice, but also fear. Perhaps she's not just sorry for the affair, but also for losing her backup plan. At length, I manage a subdued sigh. For the kid's sake, I hope you do better. But from my standpoint, I'm ready to file for divorce if I see any more lies. If you want a lawyer, that's your right. Tears brim in her eyes, but she nods. All right, I respect that. Then, with a trembling smile of sadness, she leaves. My chest feels bruised. The woman I once cherished stands on the other side of a rift I'm not sure we can ever cross again. Days pass in a tense routine. Alicia picks up more art classes, leaving early for the community center. I continue my double shifts at the yard to keep finances stable. Evenings, we exchange minimal words, logistical updates on the kids, occasional talk about groceries. One afternoon, Kyle mentions he wants to sign up for baseball camp next month. I see Alicia's face twist, likely worried about fees. I quickly say, "I'll handle it, buddy," ignoring Alicia's anxious glance. The kids shouldn't suffer for her mistakes. Alicia thanks me softly afterward, but I just nod. No sense reading too much into her gratitude. Ian invites me out for a drink on a Friday night. I rarely do this, but I figure a break might help. We hit a local sports bar, not too crowded. The low hum of music and clinking glasses is oddly soothing. We settle into a corner booth with a couple of beers. Ian sips, observing me. "You look like you haven't slept in a week." I shrug. "Would you in my position?" He chuckles grimly. "Fair point. So, any fresh developments with Alicia?" I update him on the tension, the lawyer talk, Alicia's new classes. She's basically bracing for life on her own. We're civil for the kid's sake, but the marriage is dead. We both know it. He nods. "So why not file now?" I swirl the beer in my glass, considering. I guess part of me wonders if there's a final twist with Grant's indictment. Jade said it could be any day. If Alicia's implicated, that's more leverage. If not, I'll go ahead and file. He snorts. "You're a patient man. I'd have ended it the day I found them on your couch." A bitter smile ghosts across my lips. Trust me, I wanted to. But I'm thinking long-term custody, finances, the kids. A knee-jerk reaction might cost me. Ian lifts his glass. "Here's to your strategy, then." We clink rims. Just don't lose yourself in the chess game. Sometimes the emotional toll is heavier than we realize. I take a gulp, the beer's crisp, cutting through the haze of stress. "You're not wrong, man." We talk about other stuff, work drama, some nonsense about local politics. The time passes quickly. It's almost midnight when we step back outside into the cool air. I feel a flicker of relief. At least for a few hours, I wasn't drowning in the chaos. Saturday morning, I'm in the garage sorting tools when Kyle pokes his head in. "Dad, can we fix my bike chain? It keeps slipping." I glance at the battered old bike leaning against the wall. "Sure, let's do it." Emma tags along too, curious. Alicia, presumably in the house, out of sight. For the next hour, we tinker with the chain, adjusting the gears. The kids watch eagerly. Emma asks a million questions. "Why does it slip? Can I ride it when you're done? What if it breaks again?" I grin, showing her the basics of how the chain tension works. Kyle helps by handing me the wrench. It's a welcome distraction, focusing on practical tasks with my children, reminding me what's truly important. When we finish, Kyle does a quick test ride around the driveway. Emma cheers. Alicia steps outside, shading her eyes from the sun, observing quietly. I sense her longing to join in, but she hovers at the threshold, unsure. I wave lightly. "You can watch, it's fine." She exhales, stepping onto the porch. "Kids, that's so cool. Dad's handy, huh?" They both beam. Kyle says, "Yeah, Dad knows all about chains and gears." Emma nods, excited. Then they race around the yard, laughing. My heart feels full. Alicia edges closer. "They're so happy right now. I miss this." I sigh, wiping grease from my hands. "Yeah, me too." She stands there silent, as if searching for more words. But none come. Eventually, she retreats indoors, leaving me with the kids' joyous squeals echoing around the yard. That night, I'm half dozing on the couch, the TV droning an old action movie. My phone buzzes Jade again. I sit up, dread twisting in my stomach. Her text reads, "Grant indicted this afternoon. Multiple counts of fraud. Police might question Alicia. This is big." My pulse races. I quickly type back, "Got it. Next steps?" She replies, "Hold tight. If cops approach Alicia, that's more evidence of her involvement with a criminal. Could help your custody claim. Keep me posted if anything happens at your end." Setting my phone down, I gaze at the dark TV screen. So, it begins. Grant is officially in legal hot water. Alicia might be roped in if they find any trace she collaborated. Then again, maybe she was just a bystander. My mind whirls with possibilities. I flick off the TV and head upstairs, passing Alicia's closed door. I pause, hearing soft music inside. She's likely oblivious that her ex-lover is now indicted. Tomorrow the news might break, and I'll see how she reacts. A strange mixture of triumph and sadness churns in me. I wanted Grant to face consequences, but this also stirs up fresh drama for the mother of my kids. Life is messy, and even though I want justice, I can't ignore the emotional toll on everyone. As I settle into bed, the thought that lingers is, one chapter of this nightmare is closing, but the next might be even more complicated. Because once official investigations begin, Alicia's illusions might crumble further, and our path to divorce will inevitably accelerate. Monday dawns with an electric sense of anticipation. Over breakfast, Alicia looks at her phone, brows furrowed. She's scanning news headlines. Then she lets out a sharp gasp, eyes darting to me. "Grant, he was indicted," she whispers, voice trembling. I pretend mild surprise. "Really? For fraud?" She nods, setting the phone down with shaking fingers. "Yes. The official statement mentions real estate scams and forging documents. Oh God, Trevor, could they come after me?" My stomach knots. The kids are munching cereal at the table, oblivious. I lower my voice, steering Alicia into the hallway. "What did you sign, Alicia?" Her eyes brim with tears. "I gave him small amounts of money, followed him to meetings, but I never forged your signature or anything." She swallows hard. "He wanted me to, but I refused. Is that enough to clear me?" I exhale. "I'm no cop, but if you didn't sign anything illegal, they might not have grounds. But you might be questioned. Don't lie, or you'll dig yourself deeper." She nods desperately. "Should I call a lawyer? My own lawyer, I mean?" I force a measured tone. "That's your choice. Jade suggests you be honest if the police contact you. If you're innocent, you have nothing to hide." A tear slips down her cheek. "I'm so scared, Trevor. I never wanted to be part of a crime." Part of me pities her. Another part remains cold. She reaped the consequences. But for the kids' sake, I keep my voice soft. "Just don't panic. If you truly did nothing criminal, you should be fine." She nods, dashing away tears. Meanwhile, Kyle calls from the kitchen. "Mom, are we going soon?" She straightens, smoothing her hair. "Yeah, baby. In a minute." I watch her rejoin the kids, forcing a brave face. It's a painful reminder that no matter how messed up our marriage is, Alicia's still their mother, and she's fighting her own demons. At the yard, I keep checking my phone, half expecting some call from the police or Alicia. Around noon, a text from Jade. "Heard a rumor Alicia might be on the witness list. Keep me posted if cops contact her or you." A sour taste forms in my mouth. If Alicia testifies against Grant, that might also solidify her innocence, but it drags us deeper into legal territory. The day crawls by, my mind not on the forklift repairs. Freddie notices my mood again. "You sure you're okay?" he asks during lunch break. I shrug. "Just a storm at home." He gives me a sympathetic pat on the back. "Hang in there, man." But my gut churns with the knowledge that everything is about to escalate further. After work, I head to Jade's office unannounced. Her paralegal gestures me in, sensing my urgency. Jade stands, greeting me with a firm handshake. "Grant's indicted. Alicia might be questioned." "What does that mean for us?" I blurt. She sits, folding her hands. "Calm down. If Alicia truly didn't sign anything illegal, she's probably safe from charges. They might want her testimony about Grant's dealings. That's it." I run a hand through my hair. "So do we file for divorce now, or wait until the dust settles?" Her gaze is steady. "That's your call. But if you file now, you can reference her involvement, at least her knowledge of Grant's shady business. That might influence the judge's perspective on custody. Alternatively, if you wait, you might gather more evidence if the police find anything linking her financially." I groan. "What do you recommend?" She sighs. "From a purely strategic angle, waiting a bit longer could yield more ammo. But it's a gamble if Alicia decides to file first, painting you as controlling." I slump in the chair. "This is insane." Jade taps a pen on her desk. "Look, the affair is your big card. Even if Alicia tries to spin it, we have undeniable proof. She can't claim you were abusive or anything, or we'd have seen signs. I doubt any judge will punish you severely. So either route, you're in a decent position. I nod, though the tension refuses to ease. Okay, so I'll wait another week or two, see if anything new surfaces about Grant and Alicia. Then I'll decide. She smiles wanly. I'll stand by, ready to file. Also, keep finances locked down. Don't let her take out loans or lines of credit. Already done, I confirm. Thank you. Leaving her office, I feel a semblance of control, but also the weight of pending conflict. My chest aches at the thought of a full-blown divorce trial, but the alternative living in this limbo seems worse. That evening, I find Alicia in the living room, anxiously watching the local news for any mention of Grant's case. She mutes the TV when I enter, eyes darting to me. Anything from your lawyer? I choose partial truth. She says if you did nothing wrong, you shouldn't worry. The cops might call you for a statement, though. She nods, biting her lip. And if they do, will you help me? I mean, I don't have a lawyer on retainer. A surge of conflicting emotions grips me. You can talk to Jade, but you might prefer a separate attorney if you think your interests conflict with mine. She flinches. Right, because we're basically adversaries now, huh? I don't respond, letting the silence speak for itself. She turns off the TV, stands, and softly says, I'll look into it tomorrow. Thanks. I watch her ascend the stairs, feeling a pang of sadness. She's not an evil person, just foolish, reckless, easily swayed. But I can't let compassion overshadow the fact she betrayed me deeply. Midweek, the kids have a half-day at school. I come home early to pick them up, leaving Alicia to whatever errands she's doing. When we arrive, an unmarked police car sits in our driveway. My heartbeat spikes. A plainclothes officer steps out, flashing a badge. Mr. Connolly? Yeah, I say, ushering Kyle and Emma behind me protectively. The officer offers a courteous nod. Detective Rollins, I'm looking for Alicia Connolly. We have questions regarding an investigation tied to a man named Grant Hammond. Cold dread washes over me. She's out right now. Probably back soon. May I ask what this is about? He checks a notepad. Just need to confirm certain details about Mr. Hammond's activities. She's not a suspect, if that's your concern. Mind if I wait? I glance at the kids. Well, sure, but let me get these two inside. He steps aside politely, letting us enter. The kids look scared, so I ruffle their hair, whisper, Go upstairs, do your homework, everything's fine. They obey, wide-eyed. Returning to the detective, I gesture to the living room. We can wait in here. He thanks me, taking a seat. I sit across from him, heart pounding. So you suspect Alicia has info? He shrugs. Her name came up in connection with Grant Hammond. We're just trying to piece together a timeline. It's routine. I swallow. Well, she definitely knew him. He was around. But if you're worried she's a partner in crime, I doubt that. He eyes me, pen hovering over his notepad. So you're aware of her relationship with him? I stiffen, cheeks burning with anger and embarrassment. Yes, she had an affair, but as far as I know, she didn't partake in any illegal deals. He nods slowly. That's consistent with what we've heard so far. We fall silent. Time crawls. A half hour later, Alicia's car pulls up. She steps in, sees the detective, and her face goes pale as a ghost. The detective stands, greeting her. Mrs. Connolly, Detective Rollins, we'd like to ask you some questions about Grant Hammond. You're not under arrest, but your cooperation is appreciated. Alicia looks at me, panic in her eyes. I nod, trying to appear calm. She steels herself, turning to the detective. Okay, sure. Do you mind if we talk outside, or... He glances at me. That's up to you, ma'am. She swallows, then gestures. Let's talk in the dining room, please. They move in there, shutting the door lightly. My palms sweat. I hover by the living room, within earshot but not wanting to intrude. Low voices murmur. Alicia's tone is shaky at first, then grows more confident. She denies knowledge of fraud, insists she never signed anything illegal, that she only gave him small sums for investment. She never saw actual returns. Detective Rollins probes politely, then eventually thanks her and leaves. When Alicia emerges, she looks shell-shocked. I approach quietly. You okay? She sinks into a dining chair, tears brimming. They asked about bank transfers, if I forged your signature. I told them no. She rubs her temple. I can't believe I'm being questioned by police. This is my life now? I exhale, passing her a tissue. I'm sorry you're dealing with it. But this is the reality after you got involved with him. She sniffles. They might call me again. He said I might be a witness if this goes to trial. I remain standing. At least you're not under arrest. She shakes her head. No. But what if Grant tries to blame me? Says I helped? I could be dragged into court. My bitterness flickers. I guess you'll have to prove otherwise. Jade can advise you if you want. She nods, clinging to the tissue. Then her eyes meet mine, raw with regret. God, Trevor, I'm so sorry. I grit my teeth, not sure how to respond. A swirl of conflicting feelings. Finally, I say, let's just keep the kids out of this. They don't need the details. She nods gratefully, dabbing her tears. I'll tell them it's just about that guy from out of town, nothing more. Silence. I walk away, head pounding with the knowledge that the legal wheels are turning faster now. Word spreads quickly in our small community. By Thursday, rumors swirl that Alicia was questioned by the police. At the shipping yard, co-workers glance my way, whispering about the scandal. Dom calls me into his office again, concerned about how the gossip might affect the yard's morale. I shrug. I can't control rumors. My wife had an affair with a criminal, apparently. She's dealing with the fallout. Dom nods sympathetically. Look, you do your job well, Trevor. Just keep your head down. Don't let the talk get to you. I sigh, leaving his office, determined to focus on tasks. Yet each clang of metal and hum of machinery can't drown out the tension in my mind. Another text from Jade arrives midday. You should be set to file. Alicia's involvement is limited, but we can note the inquiry by law enforcement as a factor in your custody argument. I tuck the phone away, heart pounding. It's time, or nearly time. Friday night, Alicia quietly knocks on my makeshift bedroom door again. I let her in, bracing for yet another emotional exchange. She stands, arms folded, face pale. I talked to a legal aid place, she says softly. They said I might not get spousal support if the court sees me as at fault for the affair, but I might still get partial custody. I swallow, nodding. That's true. She hesitates. Are you planning to file for divorce soon? I sigh. Yes, Alicia, I am. We can't keep dragging this out. You threatened me with divorce before. Let's just be real. This marriage is done. Her eyes fill with tears. And the kids? You'll let me see them, right? I glare. Of course, I'm not a monster, but I want primary custody, at least for now. She chokes back a sob. I guess I deserve that. Then she closes her eyes. I'm sorry, Trevor. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am. The sincerity in her voice stings. I appreciate it. But sorry won't fix the trust you broke. She nods, tears slipping down her cheeks. I understand. An agonizing hush envelops us. Finally, she turns and leaves. I stand there, breathing ragged. The final confrontation looms. I can sense it in the hush of the house, in the tension in my chest. Saturday, I text Jade. Let's file. I'm ready. She replies almost immediately. We'll proceed Monday morning. We'll serve Alicia with formal papers. A swirl of adrenaline and dread surges in me. I'm actually pulling the trigger. That evening, I gather my children after dinner, speaking gently. Kids, I need to talk to you about some grown-up stuff. Mom and I, we might not stay married. They blink in confusion. Emma's eyes widen with worry. Kyle's brow furrows. But why? I sigh, heart aching. Sometimes moms and dads have problems they can't solve together. We both love you so much, but we might have to live separately. Emma tears up. Are we leaving this house? I stroke her hair. Not necessarily, sweetie. You'll still see Mom and Dad no matter what. Kyle sets his jaw. I don't want a new house. The heartbreak in their faces nearly breaks me, but I muster calm. We'll figure it out, okay? No matter what, you'll still have both of us in your life. They nod, tears glistening. I hug them tight, cursing Alicia's betrayal for bringing us to this point. She's in her room, missing this conversation. Maybe it's for the best, so we don't argue in front of them. Night falls with a quiet finality. I retreat to my bedroom, heart pounding. The papers are in my locked box, ready. Jade will serve them. Alicia might lash out, or she might crumble. Either way, I'll shield the kids from the blowback. As I lie in bed, memories flood in. The day Alicia and I first met at a friend's barbecue, our wedding, the joy on her face when Kyle was born, all overshadowed by the images of her with Grant, the betrayal, the lies. My mind flickers between love lost and a cold sense of justice. Sleep comes fitfully. Each time I drift off, I see a swirling maelstrom of courtroom scenes, Alicia's tear-streaked face, the kids begging me not to fight. Then I jolt awake, chest tight, reminding myself, I'm doing this for them, for our future. She left me no choice. Monday morning. The sun rises on a day that feels like crossing a threshold. I head to Jade's office before work, signing the final divorce petition. My signature scrawls across the pages with a shaky hand. She notarizes it, promising to file with the court clerk within the hour. I feel hollow as I drive to the yard, the dissolution of my marriage now set in motion. Alicia's about to be served. She'll see the lines. Adultery. Irreconcilable differences. Request for primary custody. It's all real now. No more illusions of reconciliation. My phone buzzes. A text from Jade. Papers filed. She'll be served at home or the community center, depending on timing. I can't help a pang of guilt at the idea of Alicia being blindsided at her workplace, but Jade insisted it's standard procedure. At midday, I'm repairing a battered forklift tire when my phone rings. The number is Alicia's cell. My gut clenches. I step aside, wiping grease from my hands. Hello? Her voice wavers. You filed. I just got served. I swallow. Yeah, I told you it was coming. She chokes up. I was in the middle of teaching an art class, Trevor. The server came in front of my students. It was humiliating. I grimace. Jade must have arranged that. I'm sorry it had to happen that way, but there's no good time, Alicia. She sniffles, silence hanging on the line. Finally, she whispers, So it's over then. Our marriage is truly over. A painful knot forms in my chest. I can't see a way back from everything. You threatened me, had an affair, lied about finances. We're done. She breathes raggedly. Okay, I guess I'll contact my lawyer. I can't believe we're here. I steel myself. Neither can I. But we are. She lingers, tears audible in her shaky breath. What about the kids? I'll do everything to ensure they're stable. We can work out a schedule or let the court decide. You can see them, of course. A fresh sob escapes her. Fine. I need to go. She hangs up, leaving me trembling with both relief and heartbreak. This is the path I chose. No turning back. That evening, I arrive home to find Alicia sitting at the kitchen table, the divorce petition lying in front of her. She's red-eyed, hair disheveled like she's spent the afternoon crying. The kids are with Natalie, apparently. She meets my gaze, voice subdued. So you want primary custody, no spousal support. You mentioned the affair. The details are humiliating. I let out a breath. It's the truth. I'm just stating facts. She fingers the edge of the document. You also wrote about Grant's indictment, suggesting I expose the family to potential criminal liability. That's harsh. I glare. Again, the truth. You were questioned by cops. This is relevant. Her voice cracks. But I didn't do anything illegal. I nod. I know. But you danced with the devil. And now I'm protecting our kids. She exhales, tears sliding down her cheeks. So this is a war, then? A pang of regret hits me. It doesn't have to be. We could settle. I just want to ensure I keep the house for the kids. And no forced alimony. You can have visitation. She sniffs. My lawyer said I might still qualify for some support. But if you can show adultery, maybe not. I shrug, arms folded. I'm prepared to fight it, Alicia. I'm sorry. Her gaze drifts to the papers again. Why are we so cold now? Bitterness surges. Because you turned cold first. Or did you forget sleeping with Grant, threatening me, ignoring your own children? She bursts into sobs, burying her face in her hands. Part of me wants to comfort her, but the memory of betrayal keeps me rooted. At length, she stands, whispering, I guess we'll see each other in court. I watch her retreat upstairs, leaving the petition on the table. My heart thuds with a finality. The marriage is done, the lines are drawn. Days pass in a swirl of legal forms, phone calls from Jade, quiet tension at home. Alicia stays in the guest room. We navigate custody in a temporary, informal way. She picks up the kids from school some days, I do others. The awkwardness is palpable. Natalie stops by one afternoon with a small bag of groceries, giving me a concerned once-over. Heard you officially filed. How's she taking it? I slump on the couch, rubbing my eyes. Badly, but not as explosive as I feared. She's mostly depressed, crying a lot. She's also worried about potential ramifications from Grant's case. Natalie sits beside me. Kids okay? I nod. They're confused, but they sense the final blow has come. Emma asked if we'd all live together again. I had to say no. That was tough. She squeezes my shoulder. I'm sorry. Divorce is never easy, especially with kids. A deep sigh escapes me. I can't help feeling guilty sometimes. But then I remember how Alicia tore our marriage apart. I have to see it through. Natalie nods. Yes, but let the guilt come and go. You're doing the best you can. We share a quiet moment, the gravity settling in. Then she kisses my forehead like a big sister comforting a little brother. You're strong, Trev. You'll make it. A faint smile tugs at my lips. Thanks. One night, Alicia knocks on my door again. I brace myself for more tears or pleas. Instead, she enters with a resigned expression. I found an apartment listing not too far from here. I might move out soon. My chest tightens. You're leaving the house? She shrugs, eyes lowered. You're asking for it in the divorce. Plus, everything here reminds me of my mistakes. Maybe it's better if I find a new place. I exhale, nodding slowly. All right, I can't stop you. Just make sure we figure out the kids' schedule so they're not uprooted too much. She closes her eyes. I will. I want them stable, too. After a pause, she adds quietly, This is what we've become, discussing schedules like business partners. A bitter chuckle escapes me. That's divorce for you. She hovers a moment longer, as if wanting to say something else but can't find the words. Then she turns and leaves. I flop onto the bed, exhaustion gnawing at my soul. This slow, painful unraveling is almost worse than if we'd had one explosive fight. Instead, it's day after day of coldness and regret, an emotional slow bleed. Ian invites me for another gym session. We take out our frustrations on punching bags, sweat pouring off us. After, we sip water in the corner. Hell of a situation, he remarks, wiping his brow. I heard you officially filed. How's your mind state? I shrug, gulping air. Relieved, but also miserable. Alicia's looking for an apartment. The kids are anxious. She's depressed. I'm trying to remain stable. Ian nods. You gotta keep a level head. This is the stage where emotions can spike, leading to bad decisions. Keep following Jade's guidance. I flex my hands, remembering the camera footage of Alicia and Grant. The anger still simmers, but it's overshadowed by a kind of weary acceptance. I will. Just ready for the final settlement so we can all move on. He claps my shoulder. You're almost there. Proud of you, brother. I manage a faint smile. Thanks. Couldn't have done it without your support. I'd have punched that scumbag's face months ago otherwise. Ian laughs. Well, you took the high road and it's paying off legally. I nod, inhaling deeply. Still feels like a hollow victory. He gives me a knowing look. Victory always does in a war you never wanted to fight. By the weekend, Alicia has found a small apartment across town. She packs boxes in quiet sorrow, occasionally asking me where some household item belongs. The kids watch with wide eyes, fear etched in their expressions. Emma helps Alicia fold clothes into suitcases, tears glistening. I can't stand the heartbreak in their eyes. I kneel, hugging them. Mom's not disappearing forever. You'll still see her. Emma sniffles, nodding. Kyle stands by stoically, arms crossed. I don't like it, he mutters. Alicia presses her lips together, tears slipping. I know, baby. I'm so sorry. The sense of finality is crushing. It's one thing to sign papers, another to physically watch your wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, pack her life away. Every box feels like a piece of our old memories being sealed up. At one point, Alicia stumbles across an old family photo album from Kyle's toddler years. She leafs through it, sobbing silently. I stand in the doorway, also fighting tears. So much happiness captured in those photos, all undone by betrayal and broken trust. She meets my gaze, holding up a photo of us smiling at a theme park. I ruined this, didn't I? My throat tightens. We both changed over time. But yeah, your choices caused a huge rift. She sets the photo aside, whispering, I'll never forgive myself. I have no answer for that. The truth is, I'm not sure if I'll ever forgive her either. Sunday afternoon, a small moving truck arrives. Alicia, with Doris's help, loads her belongings. I stay inside, letting them handle it. The kids are at Natalie's, sparing them the agony of watching a truck cart away half our household. When the truck is nearly loaded, Alicia steps into the living room. I'll come get the rest of my stuff next weekend. I nod, arms crossed. Fine. She glances around the empty spaces. So guess I'll see you at the next hearing or if Jade arranges mediation. I grunt acknowledgement. We'll handle details about the kids' schedule via text, okay? She inhales unsteadily. All right, thank you. A brief hush, then she says, I loved this house. I loved what we had. I'm sorry I destroyed it. My chest constricts. It is what it is now. She gives a shaky nod, tears threatening again, then walks out the door. The engine of the truck revs, and I watch from the window as it rumbles away, leaving behind an echoing emptiness. That evening, I pick up Kyle and Emma from Natalie's. They ask if Mom's moved out. I swallow, nodding. Yes, she's got a place across town. You'll spend some nights there once we figure it all out. They cling to me, both tearful. I hold them close, my heart breaking for them. We'll be okay, I murmur, though I'm not fully convinced. Back home, the silence is deafening. The house feels half empty, furniture rearranged to fill gaps. The kids wander, noticing the missing items. Emma sniffles. Mom took the big mirror from the hall. I force a smile. It was hers originally, sweetie. She sighs, trudging upstairs. Kyle lingers, hugging me. Dad, can we watch a movie? I don't want to go to bed yet. I ruffle his hair. Sure, buddy. We settle on the couch, picking some animated film. My mind barely registers the plot. I keep looking at the empty seat where Alicia would normally sit. The final stage of her leaving has begun. As night settles, I open my locked box of divorce documents, flipping through them. Alicia's empty side of the closet is a stark reminder that I'm truly alone now. A text from Jade. Heard Alicia moved out. Next step is scheduling a mediation or hearing. We'll push for the custody arrangement you want. Let me know if anything changes. I type back. Thanks, Jade. Let's proceed. Setting the phone aside, I lean against the bed, mind swirling. The revenge I once craved exposing Alicia's affair, crippling her finances, feels hollow now. She's suffering, the kids are sad, and I'm exhausted. Maybe that's the nature of betrayal and revenge. No one emerges unscathed. Still, I remind myself why I had to do it. To protect the kids, ensure I'm not financing her infidelity, and claim the life I deserve. My choices led here, but so did hers. Now we're locked in a final process that might take months to finalize. At least I see the path more clearly. I wake up to the muted gray of an overcast morning. My first thought is that the house is too silent. For weeks, Alicia's presence was a daily tension. Even though she slept in a separate room, we'd cross paths in the hallway, half speaking or actively ignoring each other. Now, she's officially moved out. The kids are with me, but Emma spent the night at a friend's, and Kyle crashed at my sister Natalie's place. In the emptiness, my footsteps echo strangely. I fix myself a mug of coffee, leaning against the kitchen counter. The swirl of steam reminds me how drastically life can shift in a matter of months. This kitchen used to be the center of family breakfasts. Alicia would talk about her day's plans or the kids' after-school events, while I hurried out for my shift at the yard. Now it's just me, Trevor Connolly, soon-to-be-divorced father of two, sipping coffee in a half-empty home. My phone buzzes on the counter. A text from Natalie. Natalie, 7:14 a.m. Kids woke up late. Kyle wants pancakes. We might be late dropping him off. You okay? I type back. Me. All good. Take your time. I'm just sipping coffee here. Thanks for hosting him overnight. For a moment, I imagine the normalcy of flipping pancakes while the kids beg for chocolate chips. Then I recall Alicia used to handle that routine. I clench my jaw, no point dwelling on the past. The future is uncertain, but at least I have partial clarity. I've filed for divorce, Alicia has her own place, and the legal battle is underway. My lawyer, Jade Morales, calls mid-morning. I set my coffee down, swallowing the last dregs of sleepiness. Trevor, she says in her brisk but not unkind tone, we have a few updates. Alicia's attorney reached out about a possible interim visitation schedule for the children. They propose a $5,050 arrangement until the court finalizes anything. I feel a prick of annoyance. She hardly spent time with them these past months, and now she wants equal footing? That's the stance her lawyer is taking. They'll argue the mother-child bond and your busy work schedule at the shipping yard. My shoulders tense. I've already reorganized my schedule to be here for the kids. I won't let them shuffle back and forth unpredictably. Jade sighs. I understand. But keep in mind the court often leans toward fair visitation unless we prove serious harm in letting her have them part-time. A swirl of frustration pools in my gut. I don't want to cut her out, but I do want primary custody. The kids need stability. We'll push for that. However, we might have to compromise on some temporary arrangement. I press my lips together. Fine. Let's see what we can negotiate, but I'm not giving her half custody out of the gate. Jade makes a small sound of agreement. One more thing. There's a hearing in 2 weeks to address the preliminary custody schedule and financial disclosures. You'll need to attend. My heart rate spikes. Understood. I'll be there. When the call ends, I rub my brow. The notion of seeing Alicia in court rehashing the affair and finances makes my stomach churn. Yet it's inevitable. We're in the final stretch of this twisted marathon. I head to the shipping yard, thoughts scattered. My supervisor, Dom, catches me near the locker area. Trev, you good? Heard you might have court soon. Word travels fast in a small-town environment. I exhale, shrugging. Divorce hearing. I might need a day off. He pats my shoulder. Take what you need. We'll manage without you. Just keep me posted. I offer a tight nod. Appreciate it. He eyes me a moment, then adds in a lower voice. Any word on that Grant guy? Last I heard he was indicted. My teeth grit involuntarily. Still indicted, might go to trial. Alicia was questioned as a witness. He whistles. Hell of a mess. Tell me about it, I mutter, turning to stow my jacket in the locker. My mind strays to how Alicia handled that police interview. She'd come out shaken, tears in her eyes. She insisted she'd never forged my name or joined the fraud, so presumably the cops left her alone. Still, the stain of her association with Grant lingers. Shaking off the tension, I clock in, readying myself for a day of mechanical tasks. The physical labor helps me channel the stress swirling in my chest. At lunch, I check my phone again. No new messages. My coworker, Freddie, nudges me. Dude, I'm running out for a burger. Want something? I wave him off. I'm good. Brought a sandwich. He hesitates, then lowers his voice. Your situation with Alicia, it's gotta be tough. I can't imagine. My cousin went through a nasty divorce. She said the key is to keep calm, no matter what. I force a half smile. Thanks, Fred. I'm doing my best. He nods sympathetically, heading off. I watch him go, mind replaying the steady refrain. Keep calm. Keep calm. The same advice from Ian, Jade, Natalie, even my own conscience. Yet every time I picture Alicia's new demands for custody or recall the way she threatened me months ago, my blood simmers. I won't lose my temper and ruin my legal stance, but the temptation is there. By mid-afternoon, I wrap up the forklift inspection, deposit my paperwork with Dom, and head home. On the drive, I mentally review the next steps. Pick up the kids from Natalie's, ensure dinner, oversee homework. I'm half thankful Alicia isn't in the house to add tension, but another part of me recalls how we once tag-teamed these chores. I shrug off the nostalgia. Pulling into my driveway, I notice a small sedan I don't recognize. My pulse ticks up. A woman steps out wearing business-casual attire, a leather folder under her arm. She's on her phone, but the moment she sees me, she hangs up, approaching calmly. Mr. Connolly? She asks. I'm Margaret Kim from Brenson and Park. I represent Alicia in the custody matter. I stiffen. Alicia's lawyer? She extends a polite hand. Co-counsel. Alicia's lead attorney is Mr. Park, but I'm handling the day-to-day. I came to drop off a revised proposal for a temporary arrangement. My jaw clenches. You could have mailed it or emailed Jade. She smiles thinly. We wanted to expedite it, ensure clarity. Alicia gave me your address. Is it okay if I leave these documents with you? I glance at the manila folder. Sure. She hands it over. We're requesting a short phone conference tomorrow with Jade and you to discuss potential settlement points before the hearing. Alicia wants to avoid ugly confrontation if possible. I cross my arms. That depends on your demands. Margaret nods. I understand. Our contact info is inside. Have a good day, Mr. Connolly. She heads to her car, leaving me with the folder. I roll my eyes at the abruptness, stepping inside to open it. Indeed, it's a formal request for a temporary 5,050 schedule with a rotating weekly structure. Also, Alicia wants partial spousal support until she's fully employed. Rage flares. She's the adulterer. She left me for Grant. She threatened me, and now she wants half custody plus money from me? My fists clench, but I force a steady breath. Stay calm, Trevor. Jade will handle it. I set the folder aside, swallowing the bitter taste of betrayal. I pick up Kyle at Natalie's. Emma's still at her friend's, so Kyle and I drive home in relative silence. He's usually chatty about baseball, but today he seems withdrawn. When we get inside, I set down his backpack. Everything okay, buddy? He shrugs. Mom texted me earlier, said she misses me. Asked if I want to sleep at her new apartment soon. My stomach tightens. And how do you feel about that? He fidgets. I don't know. I love Mom, but it's weird now. She left us. And the apartment is small. I kind of like being home. I exhale, kneeling so I'm at his eye level. It's okay to feel torn, Kyle. You can see Mom if you want, or you can stay here. The court might set a schedule soon, but I'll always respect your feelings. He nods, tears threatening to brim. I just wish things were normal again. My heart aches. Me too, kiddo, but we'll get through this. He sniffles, hugging me. Yeah. I hold him tight, guilt churning. No matter how justified I feel in divorcing Alicia, the kids' pain is real. I vow again to keep them as stable as possible, no matter how complicated the legal side gets. That night, after Kyle's in bed and Emma's back from her friend's place, I open Alicia's revised proposal. My phone pings with a text from Jade. Got a heads up from Alicia's co-counsel. They want a quick call tomorrow. Let me know your availability. I respond, anytime after 2 p.m. works. They're pushing 5,050 and spousal support in the dock. Ridiculous. She replies, we'll fight the spousal support. As for custody, we might compromise to some extent. Let's talk tomorrow. Setting the phone aside, I lean on the kitchen table, head in my hands. The word compromise gnaws at me, but Jade's right. Courts rarely block a mother from seeing her kids unless she's deemed unfit. Alicia's not unfit, just unfaithful. And while the law acknowledges adultery, it doesn't always remove parental rights. I eventually shuffle to bed, the weight of fatherhood and looming court drama crushing me. Sleep eludes me, replaced by swirling questions. How do I preserve the kids' routines? What if Alicia manages to twist the narrative in court? For the 1,000th time, I remind myself, stay calm, be prepared. Tuesday, Jade arranges a 3-way phone call with Margaret Kim. I sit in my living room, phone on speaker, documents spread out. Jade starts professionally. We appreciate Miss Kim reaching out. Let's address the proposed schedule. Trevor, you want to voice your concerns? I clear my throat. Yes. I object to 5,050 right away. Alicia left the family environment for months, plus she only recently set up stable housing. The kids are still adjusting. A more gradual approach would be better for them. Margaret's voice is calm, a slight edge of legal sternness. Miss Connolly acknowledges mistakes but has reestablished a safe, suitable residence. The children have a strong bond with their mother. We believe a shared schedule is in their best interest. Jade interjects, yet your client's earlier absence suggests the father has been the primary caretaker. We propose a majority schedule for Trevor, with reasonable visitation for Alicia. Over time, if the kids adjust well, maybe expansions can occur. Margaret sighs. That might lead us to a contested hearing. Alicia feels strongly she can handle 5,050 right away. I clamp down frustration. Jade speaks. Then we might have to let the court decide. Meanwhile, the spousal support request is a non-starter. Alicia's affair led to the breakdown of the marriage. Trevor shouldn't pay for that. Margaret counters, adultery doesn't necessarily negate spousal support in our jurisdiction. If Alicia can show she contributed as a homemaker and her income is significantly lower, the court might grant temporary maintenance. Anger spikes in me. She had an affair for a year, threatened me, and you think I owe her a paycheck? Jade hushes me with a gentle caution in her tone. We'll contest that vigorously, Miss Kim. Margaret remains composed. Understood. Let's see if any middle ground exists. We go back and forth for nearly half an hour. It feels like a formal dance, each side reciting legal references. Eventually, we agree to hold final positions for the hearing in a week. No immediate settlement emerges. The call ends politely, but tension crackles. I slump on the couch afterward, heart racing. Jade sighs on the line. Stay strong, Trevor. We'll finalize our arguments. The judge might propose a compromise we can't refuse, but we'll do our best. Thanks, Jade, I mumble, ending the call. So this is the calm before the court hearing. I sense a storm of legal jargon, emotional testimonies, and swirling regrets about to crash down. Midweek, Natalie drops by with groceries, noting how I keep forgetting to restock certain items. She sets the bags on the counter, eyeing me. Heard about the phone conference, any luck? I grimace. No, they want half custody and spousal support. Jade says we'll fight it in court next week. If the judge sees Alicia's shady affair, maybe we'll get a better deal. Natalie bites her lip, uncertain. Courts often push for shared custody, even if the mother messed up the marriage. Just be ready. A swirl of dread coils in my chest. I know, I just want the kids stable. Alicia's not exactly proven reliability. She rubs my shoulder. You'll do fine. The evidence of her affair grants indictment. It's all in your favor. I exhale. Sure, but the kids might have to shuffle if the judge decides. That kills me. Natalie nods. It's tough, but you're doing all you can. Days blur until the weekend. Each moment I juggle kids' schedules, talk with Jade, brood over the upcoming hearing. My anger at Alicia recedes to a dull ache, replaced by practical focus. I must present well in court, highlight my role as a stable father, demonstrate her affair's impact. The emotional revenge fantasies from months back feel distant. My priority is now ensuring custody. The logic is simpler. She cheated, I adapted. She threatened, I planned, now I finalize. On Sunday night, I gather the kids for a quiet dinner. They sense the tension. Kyle pokes at his food. Emma chews slowly. I try to lighten the mood, asking about school or next weekend's baseball practice. They respond half-heartedly. We're all overshadowed by the knowledge that come next week. A judge might decide how much time they spend with each parent. Emma peeks up at me, big eyes moist. Daddy, do we have to speak in court? My heart wrenches. Probably not, sweetheart. Usually kids don't have to testify unless it's a special case. She nods, relieved. Okay. After dinner, we watch a silly comedy on TV, the laughter forced but better than silence. As I tuck them into bed, both cling longer than usual. Emma whispers, I love you, Daddy. I love you too, I say, tears pressing at my eyes. Kyle just nods, face solemn. The weight of their uncertain future looms, an invisible weight on all our shoulders. Tomorrow is the hearing, or at least the first major one. My entire body thrums with anxious energy. Will the judge see the truth, or will I be forced into a compromise that leaves me half helpless? I lie awake half the night, replaying every argument Jade gave me. Sleep eventually claims me in the wee hours, a restless swirl of half-formed dreams featuring stern judges, child custody forms, and Alicia's tearful face. The day breaks with an iron-gray sky, drizzling rain that patters against the windows. It feels fitting, the gloom reflecting my internal dread. I dress in a conservative button-down shirt, slacks, and a plain tie. I have no illusions about impressing the judge with flashy attire. I just want to appear steady and responsible. Natalie arrives early to help with the kids, ensuring they have a normal morning before heading to school. She gives me a quick hug. You got this, Trev? The truth is on your side. I muster a tight nod, heart pounding. Yeah, let's hope that matters. Leaving the house, I drive to the county courthouse, a brick building with neat landscaping that does nothing to soothe my nerves. Jade meets me by the entrance, wearing a neat black blazer, her face calm but focused. You ready? She asks softly. I blow out a breath, as ready as I'll ever be. We climb the steps, pass through security. My stomach knots at the swarm of people inside, other couples, lawyers, folks in line for various legal issues. Jade guides me to the assigned courtroom, a modest space with rows of wooden benches. The judge's bench looms at the front. A twinge of apprehension hits me when I spot Alicia across the aisle, flanked by Margaret Kim and an older man in a suit, probably Mr. Park, her lead attorney. She's dressed conservatively, hair pulled back, eyes red like she's been crying. Our gazes briefly meet, her expression unreadable. I look away, focusing on Jade's quiet instructions. Remember, keep your composure. We'll let the attorneys present arguments. If the judge asks you a direct question, answer calmly and truthfully, Jade murmurs. I nod, swallowing dryness in my throat. The bailiff announces the case. Connolly versus Connolly, preliminary hearing on custody and spousal support. The formality sets my heart racing. Judge Harris, a middle-aged woman with stern eyes, takes the bench. She reads through some notes, then glances at the attorneys. All right, we're here to address temporary arrangements pending final resolution. Let's start with counsel for petitioner. Jade stands smoothly, summarizing the key points. Alicia's year-long affair with a man now indicted for fraud, her abandonment of the family home, Trevor's steady role as the primary caretaker in recent months. She emphasizes that awarding Trevor majority custody is best for stability. She also insists that Alicia's spousal support request is unwarranted due to her wrongdoing and her ability to secure employment. Judge Harris listens intently, jotting occasional notes. Then she nods to Alicia's side. Respondent's counsel? Margaret Kim stands, citing Alicia's prior role as a part-time homemaker and mother, the emotional strain that led her astray. She claims Alicia has secure housing, wants an equal role in the children's lives, and needs temporary spousal support to maintain a standard of living while she rebuilds her finances. I clench my jaw, sensing Jade's cautioning hand on my arm. We remain silent, letting the attorneys spar. Judge Harris flips through papers. I see references to an affair adultery. In some jurisdictions, that can factor into spousal support. However, the mother's bond with children is also crucial. I'd like to hear from each parent briefly. Mr. Connolly, would you step forward? My heart hammers as I approach the podium, face to face with the judge. Jade positions herself just behind me. Judge Harris's gaze is steady. Mr. Connolly, you claim primary caregiving these last months? I clear my throat. Yes, Your Honor. Alicia left the home for extended periods, was involved with Grant Hammond, and the kids stayed with me. I adjusted my work schedule, handled their daily routines. Alicia, well, she was absent. She nods. And your stance on visitation? I breathe carefully. I'm not denying her access, but I want to maintain a stable environment. 5,050 right away disrupts the kids after all they've been through. I'd prefer they live mainly with me, with Alicia having reasonable visitation until we finalize everything. Judge Harris jots notes. Understood. Any comment on spousal support? My temper flares, but I keep it measured. She had an affair, threatened me with divorce, and only after her lover left did she claim hardship. She can work. She's an art teacher. I don't believe I should finance her life after what she did. Judge Harris's expression is neutral. Thank you, Mr. Connolly. I step back, relieved that I didn't snap. Alicia's side is called next. She walks up, hands clasped, eyes shining with tears. Alicia's voice is quiet. Your Honor, I made a terrible mistake. I regret the affair deeply, but I never stopped loving my children. I was depressed, felt neglected, and turned to the wrong person. I'm stable now, have an apartment and a job at the community center. I want 5,050 custody because I believe the kids need both parents equally. Judge Harris nods slowly. And spousal support? Alicia glances at Margaret, who gives a slight nod. Yes, I rely on Trevor's income significantly. I only earn part-time wages. I was primarily caring for the children and house for years. I need some temporary support while I transition to full-time work. A flicker of frustration surges in me. Jade stands, quietly requesting permission for a rebuttal. Judge Harris allows it, and Jade references the affair, the timeline, Alicia's initial abandonment of her motherly duties. She emphasizes that Alicia chose to leave for extended periods. Margaret counters that Alicia was effectively driven out, citing my alleged financial stranglehold. The back and forth is tense but civil. The judge observes, occasionally interjecting clarifying questions. The hearing extends over an hour. Various exhibits are submitted: bank records, text message logs, partial timelines. My camera footage is mentioned as proof of the affair, but not played in open court. Eventually, the judge calls for a brief recess to review documents. During recess, Jade and I huddle in a hallway corner. She's optimistic. "You made a good impression. You were calm, factual. The judge sees you as stable." Alicia's emotional stance might sway sympathy, though. I exhale, nerves on edge. "What do you predict?" She shrugs. "I think we'll avoid spousal support, or it might be minimal. As for custody, the judge might lean toward a modified 5,050 schedule, but hopefully more in your favor. Let's see." A swirl of conflicting hope and dread churns in my chest. Alicia stands further down the hallway with Margaret, wiping tears, exchanging low words. I notice her gaze flicking to me, a mix of regret and fear. This is what it's come to, I remind myself. Court battles over the kids, heartbreak splayed for a judge to dissect. 15 minutes later, the bailiff calls us back. We resume our places. Judge Harris re-enters, stacking her papers meticulously. Clearing her throat, Judge Harris issues a preliminary decision: custody, temporary. The children will primarily reside with me for 4 school nights each week, with Alicia having 3 nights. A rotating weekend schedule is arranged, so each parent gets some weekend time. The judge notes the father's consistent care, but acknowledges the mother's right to rebond. She emphasizes stability for the kids, with potential adjustments in a few months if they adapt well. Spousal support, temporary, denied. The judge cites Alicia's proven ability to earn income and her role in triggering the marriage's breakdown. However, she leaves a small door open for reconsideration if Alicia's financial situation drastically changes before the final decree. Child support. If the father has majority nights, Alicia might owe a modest child support portion, factoring her part-time income. Final numbers are pending more financial data, but a provisional figure is set fairly low. My heart lifts hearing these points. I keep a neutral face, but inside relief floods me. Alicia's expression is teary, her shoulders slump. She's not entirely cut out, but she's not winning her 5,050 or spousal support either. Judge Harris sets a follow-up hearing in a few months to see if we can finalize an agreement or proceed to trial. A swirl of emotions wells up. I've effectively won the initial round. The kids remain mostly under my roof. Alicia gets some visitation, but not half. I sense Jade's discreet smile. Margaret and Alicia confer quietly, disappointment etched on Alicia's features. Judge Harris wraps up. "I encourage both parties to remain civil. The children's best interests are paramount. This arrangement stands until the final ruling, unless substantial changes occur." With a final bang of her gavel, the session ends. Court adjourned. Outside in the hallway, Jade shakes my hand. "Congratulations, this is good. No spousal support, majority custody. It's basically what we wanted for now." I exhale, shaky. "Yeah, I'm grateful. Let's keep it that way." She nods. "We'll keep an eye out for any new developments, especially if Alicia tries to challenge it. But for now, you're solid." We head toward the exit. Alicia stands near the door, wiping her eyes, Margaret patting her shoulder. I pause, feeling a twist of guilt. She notices me, stepping forward hesitantly. Margaret drifts aside. Alicia's voice wobbles. "So you got what you wanted, Trevor. Guess I'm a part-time mom now." A pang of pity resonates. I'm not gloating. The judge decided based on the kids' needs. You'll still see them, Alicia. She sniffles. 3 nights a week. That's not what I wanted. I swallow. Better than nothing. It could be worse if the judge believed you were unfit. This is temporary. She nods stiffly, tears slipping. I know. I just never thought I'd have to share them like possessions. My anger softens. Neither did I. We stand in silence, the passing crowd of lawyers and litigants swirling around us. Then Alicia turns away, Margaret whispering something in her ear. I watch them go. Jade taps my shoulder gently, steering me out the door into the damp, chilly afternoon. Victory is mine, but the taste is bittersweet. Back home, the kids are with Natalie, oblivious to the hearing's outcome. I slump into an armchair, exhaustion crashing over me. My phone rings Ian. "How'd it go?" he asks, tension in his voice. I manage a weary laugh. "We came out on top for the moment. I keep majority custody, no spousal support. She gets a chunk of visitation, but nowhere near half." Ian whistles. "That's huge, man. Congrats." "Thanks," I mutter. "Still feels messy." "She was crying in the hallway." He's quiet a second. "It's divorce. Ugly, even if you win. Just hold on to the result. The kids remain with you mostly. That's the big goal." "Right," I agree. We hang up and I stare at the ceiling, mind drifting. The tension of the hearing clings to me, but relief seeps in. I won't have to pay Alicia, and the kids remain mostly in my care. She can't strong-arm me or rely on some misguided sympathy from the court. After months of strategizing, I achieved what I set out to do: protect my children and my finances from her betrayal. In the next few days, I implement the new schedule. Alicia picks up the kids on the designated nights. They return looking subdued, uncertain about the shift. Kyle confesses Alicia's apartment is small but tidy. Emma says Alicia cried when they left. I feel a pang of remorse, but also a sense that this is the consequence of her actions. One evening, Alicia texts me. "Thanks for letting me have the kids for dinner. They seem okay. I'm trying to be supportive about your time too. Let's keep them stable." I stare at the message, unsure how to respond. Finally, I type, "Agreed. Stability matters most. No sign of hostility. Maybe we can manage civil co-parenting." But the memory of her affair with Grant, her willingness to risk everything, still lurks, fueling my guarded stance. Meanwhile, the legal machine keeps grinding. Jade compiles final documents for an official settlement. Alicia's attorney hints they might push for a slight increase in her nights if she can demonstrate consistent stability. Jade advises me to remain open to small changes down the road, but we prefer the status quo unless the kids show they want more time at her place. Grant's indictment moves forward, rumored to head to trial within months. Alicia seems anxious about being called as a witness. She's told me in a terse text that she hopes it doesn't drag me or the kids into any more chaos. I sense her regret is genuine, but it doesn't erase the damage done. Work at the yard stabilizes somewhat. My coworkers see I'm less on edge, maybe because the immediate custody threat is handled. Dom gives me more flexible hours so I can pick up the kids, reinforcing that I've chosen the right approach. By the third weekend after the hearing, I start feeling a cautious sense of normalcy. The kids follow the new schedule without too much complaint. Alicia's on her best behavior, not fighting me. Maybe we can finalize things amicably. Then, one Monday morning, Jade calls me with an urgent tone. "Trevor, I got a courtesy heads-up that Grant might be contacting Alicia again. Something about a defense strategy for his upcoming trial. If she's roped in, that might complicate your divorce finalization. Keep your eyes open." My stomach clenches. He's indicted. Why does he need Alicia? He might spin the narrative that she was involved or had knowledge, or he might want her to testify favorably. Hard to say. I exhale, dread returning. If that drags Alicia down legally, does it help or hurt me in the final settlement? Jade sighs. Potentially helps if she's shown to be entangled in criminal behavior, but if it's all talk, it might just cause more drama. Let's be prepared. I hang up, anxiety swirling anew. The last thing I want is another scandal overshadowing the progress we've made with the kids. Yet Grant is like a toxic ghost. He wrecked our marriage, vanished, got indicted, and now threatens to reappear. A week passes uneventfully. Then, late on a Thursday, I get a frantic call from Alicia. My heart pounds as I answer. Her voice trembles. "Trevor, I just got home from the community center. My door was open, someone broke in. They messed up the place. I think it might be Grant or someone connected to him." Shock jolts me. "What? Are you okay? Did you call the police?" She sniffles. "Yes, they're on their way. I'm outside in my car, scared to go in alone." I run a hand through my hair. "I'll come over." "Send me your address." She exhales relief. "Okay, hurry." Though part of me resents her for so much, I can't ignore this potential danger. She's still the mother of my kids. I text Natalie to watch the kids overnight if needed, then jump in my truck, racing across town. The area around Alicia's small apartment is poorly lit. I spot her car, hazard lights blinking. She sits inside, face pale with fear. A police cruiser is parked ahead, lights flashing softly. I approach carefully. A uniformed officer intercepts me, hand raised. Sir, this is an active scene. You know the tenant? I nod. She's my wife. Well, soon to be ex. She called me. He checks my ID, then gestures me to stand aside. Alicia steps out of her car, rushing over, tears on her cheeks. They ransacked everything, Trevor. I found papers thrown around, some random scribbles on the walls. I think it's related to Grant. A spike of anger flares. Did they leave any message? She shows me her phone. She snapped pictures inside, furniture overturned, liar, scrawled on a wall in marker. My gut twists. That sure sounds like a threat from someone who sees Alicia as a betrayer Grant or an associate. The officer returns. Ma'am, we'll dust for prints, check for forced entry. Don't touch anything inside for now. Alicia nods shakily. He glances at me. We might want a statement from you, too, if Miss Connolly believes this is tied to Mr. Hammond's case. I force calm. Sure. Anything to help. We linger outside under the flickering streetlight while the cops do a preliminary sweep. Alicia clings to me, ironically seeking comfort in the man she betrayed. I keep my voice steady. Any sign of forced entry besides the door? She shivers. The window was cracked, I think, but I usually lock it. They must have pried it open. I exhale. Did you leave any documents about Grant in your apartment? Her eyes widen. I had some notes, the subpoena letter from the DA, but nothing else. Maybe that's what they were after. A swirl of dread and fury. Could be they're spooking you, warning you not to testify. She trembles, nodding. I can't believe this is happening. An officer emerges, beckoning. We provide statements, referencing Alicia's link to Grant's pending trial. The cops note it carefully, saying they'll investigate possible intimidation or retaliation. Alicia stares at them, tears brimming, a terrified expression. Eventually, they let us gather a few personal items from the wreckage. It's not safe for her to stay here tonight. She looks to me with a silent plea. I sigh, glancing at my watch near midnight. Look, the kids are at home asleep. But if you want, you can stay in the guest room, just for tonight. She nods gratefully, voice hitching. Thank you. I can't stay here. It's destroyed. We drive to my house in tense silence. My mind reels with the possibility that Grant or his associates are behind this. Or maybe it's some random burglary, but the scrawled liar suggests personal motive. My gut roils with anger at the thought that Alicia's fling still entangles our lives. At home, Natalie has dozed off on the couch, the kids in bed. She startles awake when we enter. Alicia's eyes fill with fresh tears, stammering out the burglary story. Natalie, protective though she is, offers a hesitant hug. Goodness. Are you okay? She asks. Alicia nods weakly. I'll crash in the guest room, Alicia mumbles. I watch her go, my mind a swirl of complicated emotions. Natalie arches a brow at me. I whisper, she can't stay at her place. It was trashed, possibly Grant-related. I had no choice. She exhales. I get it. Just be cautious, yeah? I nod, a headache throbbing behind my eyes. Yeah. We lock up the house, triple-check windows. Then I slump in bed, mind racing. Alicia is ironically back under my roof due to a threat possibly linked to Grant. Will this nightmare never end? Sleep eludes me once more, overshadowed by fear for our kids' safety and an undertow of resentment that we're dealing with these aftershocks of her affair. Morning dawns uneasy. Alicia emerges from the guest room, face drawn. The kids blink in surprise, Kyle asking, Mom, what are you doing here? She forces a thin smile. Had a problem at my apartment, so I'm staying here a bit if that's okay. Confusion flickers across their faces, but Emma claps. Yay, you're home. I rub my temples. It's temporary, sweetheart. Alicia helps me fix breakfast, the tension awkward but less volatile than months ago. We fill the kids in on the burglary. In child-friendly terms, someone broke in. The police are investigating. Kyle stiffens, protective. Emma looks scared. I assure them they're safe here. After dropping them at school, Alicia and I speak alone in the kitchen. She's tense, holding a coffee mug. I'll pay you rent if I stay longer. I don't want to mooch. But I can't return to that apartment yet, not until it's repaired, locks changed. I wave it off. We'll figure it out. Let's see how the police investigation goes. Just try not to disrupt the custody schedule. She nods. Of course. If it's okay, I'll pick them up after school on the days the court schedule says are mine. Then bring them back here by bedtime if I have to. This is so complicated. My jaw sets. Complicated because Grant's drama bleeds into our lives. Maybe you should talk to your attorney about protective measures. She sighs heavily, tears threatening again. I plan to. Throughout that day, my phone buzzes with calls from Jade, the police detective, even Ian checking in. The detective says they found partial prints at Alicia's apartment but are still analyzing. She mentions the liar scrawl might tie to intimidation, so Alicia should be on guard. After work, I return home to find Alicia cooking dinner. The aroma of pasta sauce wafts through the kitchen, reminiscent of older times. She gives me a tentative smile. Figured I'd help since you let me stay. A swirl of nostalgia and bitterness surges. Thanks. During dinner, the kids seem almost cheerful, like they have both parents again. Kyle and Emma chat about school, giggling when Alicia tries to do a silly pun with pasta. My heart twists painfully. This facade of normalcy can't last. The reality is we're divorcing, and she only ended up here because some maniac trashed her place. Still, I can't deny the kids look happy. For a moment, I wonder if life could rewind, but no too much damage done. Days slip into a strange pattern. Alicia stays in the guest room. We co-parent under the same roof, but with an understanding that we remain legally separated. The arrangement stirs up old wounds, yet the kids flourish with both parents present. I catch glimpses of Alicia's regretful expressions, see her texting with her lawyer about the burglary case. One evening, Kyle asks Alicia, "Mom, are you back for good?" Her face crumples. "No, honey, I'm just staying until my apartment's safe again. Dad and I are still, not together." He nods solemnly, tears shining. "Oh," Emma pipes up, "I like having you both here." Alicia chokes back a sob, scooping Emma into a hug. My chest tightens with empathy. No child should endure this confusion, but I can't pretend a reconciliation that doesn't exist. Midweek, Jade calls with an unexpected update. The property manager at Alicia's complex is complaining about the damage. They suspect it might be insurance fraud if Alicia can't prove forced entry. The police are leaning toward intimidation, but the manager's raising a fuss. I groan. So she's basically at risk of losing that apartment entirely? Possibly. If the manager believes Alicia's situation invites criminal activity, they might terminate the lease. I bury my face in my hand, which means she might be stuck with me for a while. The notion triggers a swirl of frustration. I want my space. Yet it's not entirely her fault if criminals targeted her. Jade sighs. Yes. On the bright side, the more trouble Alicia has from her connection to Grant, the less likely she is to push for changes in the custody schedule. She's on shaky ground, might not want to rock the boat. I grunt. A silver lining, I guess. That night, Alicia pulls me aside after the kids are asleep. She wrings her hands. I got a notice from my landlord. They're giving me 30 days to vacate unless I fix the damage and upgrade security, but I can't afford that. I might have to leave that place altogether. I blink. So no more apartment? She closes her eyes, tears slipping. I don't know. My attorney says I could fight it, but it might be easier to move. Problem is, I can't find another place quickly. And I know I can't stay here forever. You must hate having me around. I exhale, forcing calm. I don't hate you, but this is extremely awkward. The kids are confused. You and I are divorcing. She nods miserably. I know. I'm sorry. If it's a burden, I can ask my mom or crash with a friend, but they live further away. That disrupts the kids more. She's not wrong. If she moves out of town, the custody arrangement complicates. I rub my temples, the beginnings of a headache forming. Stay for now until we figure a better option. But keep it civil, Alicia. I can't handle more stress. She sniffles. Thank you. I promise I won't overstep. A bleak hush settles. This bizarre living arrangement continues, propelled by Grant's looming shadow. I nod curtly, heading upstairs, mind spinning with tension I can't fully resolve. Over the following week, rumors swirl that Grant might attempt a plea deal. Alicia mentions that the DA's office contacted her again. She's anxious, losing sleep. We live under the same roof yet on separate floors, co-parenting by day, avoiding heavy interactions at night. For the kids, the irony is they see Dad and Mom acting like a family again, but we're not. We're locked in legal limbo, waiting for the final divorce settlement. Jade's pushing paperwork. Margaret occasionally calls about small modifications to the schedule. Our next court date is in a month or so, hopefully the final hearing. One evening after the kids go to bed, I find Alicia in the living room, tears on her cheeks, hugging a photo album. She glances at me, eyes red. I was flipping through our honeymoon pictures. We looked so happy. My throat constricts. That was a different time. She nods. I know. I just can't believe how much I ruined. A pause, then a shaky exhale. I used to fantasize about a perfect life with you, the kids, maybe more traveling. Then I messed it all up. An ache of sadness flares, but I recall the betrayal. I can't rewrite the past. Neither can you. She sets the album aside. I'm not asking for that. I just want you to know I'll regret it forever. I stand there, uncertain how to respond. Pity rises, but the old anger still simmers. Finally, I say softly, I appreciate your remorse, but we have to move forward. She closes her eyes, nodding. I know. We drift apart, each carrying our separate regrets. The final confrontation draws near the divorce finalization, and we're just biding time under the same roof, haunted by what could have been. The last few weeks leading to the final divorce hearing pass in a surreal haze. Alicia remains in the guest room, the kids adapt, and the day-to-day routine almost feels stable if not for the knowledge that we're about to stand in court again, this time to finalize every detail: custody, property division, child support, the official dissolution. Grant's trial looms on the horizon, but rumors suggest he might plead out. Meanwhile, Alicia's ex-landlord effectively ends her lease, so she has no immediate place to go. My frustration at her presence tangles with pity for her predicament. The kids seem calmer with her around, ironically, which gnaws at me with conflicting emotions. Morning of the final hearing, I dress in the same suit from the previous session. Alicia emerges similarly dressed, subdued. We don't speak much as we prepare to leave, each aware that this day ends our marriage in the eyes of the law. Natalie arrives to watch the kids. She squeezes my hand. Good luck? I'll keep them occupied. Let me know how it goes. I nod, mustering a tight smile. Alicia and I drive separately to the courthouse. Jade meets me at the steps, giving me a reassuring nod. This is it. We'll push for finalizing the arrangement the judge tentatively set plus the property split. Stay calm. I blow out a breath. Got it. Inside, the same modest courtroom awaits. Alicia and her counsel sit across the aisle. She fiddles with her hands, not meeting my gaze. Judge Harris opens the proceedings, referencing the prior arrangement and stating we're here to finalize or proceed to a trial if we can't agree. Jade stands, summarizing how we're largely in agreement on property. I keep the house. Alicia keeps personal assets, no spousal support. The only question is if Alicia wants more custody. Margaret Kim stands for Alicia, acknowledging the current living arrangement ironically has them under the same roof, but Alicia eventually wants to find a stable place. She requests the court consider a review in 6 months to possibly expand Alicia's custody if she secures better housing. She also throws in a last-minute mention that Alicia's presence in Trevor's home shows they can co-parent effectively. My anger flares. They're twisting the fact she's only here due to being forced out of her apartment. Jade calmly rebuts that Alicia's presence is temporary crisis management, not a reflection of a harmonious marriage or cohabitation. The judge listens patiently, flipping through documents. She calls on each party. Jade reaffirms no spousal support. Margaret half-heartedly objects, but the judge waves it off, referencing Alicia's earlier wrongdoing and partial employment. Finally, the judge asks us each to confirm we're prepared for a final decree. My heart pounds as I step to the podium, Jade by my side. Judge Harris's gaze is steady. Mr. Connolly, you confirm you want the marriage dissolved, with the previously outlined custody arrangement, property division, and no spousal support? I swallow. Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. She nods, turning to Alicia, who approaches with Margaret. Miss Connolly, do you agree to these terms? Alicia's eyes brim with tears. She glances at Margaret, who whispers something. Then Alicia's voice trembles. Yes, Your Honor, I agree. But I'd like the right to request additional custody down the line if my housing stabilizes. The judge notes it. Understood. The final decree can have a review clause if circumstances significantly change. But for now, we finalize. A hush falls over the courtroom. Judge Harris rifles her papers. Very well. The court grants the divorce. Mr. Connolly retains primary custody per the schedule. Miss Connolly has designated visitation. No spousal support is awarded. Child support from Miss Connolly to Mr. Connolly will be calculated based on her current earnings. Mr. Connolly retains the marital home. This is the final order, effective immediately. A dull roar fills my ears. It's done. The judge thanks us, bangs the gavel. My marriage to Alicia is legally over. Walking out of the courtroom, I feel a mixture of relief and deep sadness. Jade offers a congratulatory handshake. You got pretty much everything you set out for. I'm proud of how you handled it. I nod, voice tight. Thanks. Couldn't have done it alone. My gaze drifts to where Alicia stands with Margaret, tears streaking her cheeks. She's rummaging in her purse for tissues. For all her betrayal, I feel a pang of empathy. I approach slowly, clearing my throat. Margaret steps away politely. Alicia sniffles, wiping her face. So it's official. I exhale. Yes. She breathes shakily. I guess I'll pack my things. I can't stay in your house if we're divorced. That's insane. I search her eyes. We can figure it out. The kids need stability. If you want to stay another week or two until you find another place, it's okay. I don't want them stressed. She blinks, tears falling anew. That's kind of you. Thank you, Trevor. I nod. We can co-parent. That's the point, right? Her lip trembles. Yes, I do want that. We stand awkwardly in the courthouse corridor, newly minted ex-spouses, the legal fight behind us, but emotional aftermath lingering. At last, she gives a small wave, turning away with Margaret. I watch her walk down the hall, a swirl of regret and acceptance in my chest. We're free from each other, but the scars remain. That evening, I pick up the kids, bring them home, and break the news gently. It's final now Mom and Dad aren't married anymore. They react with tears, confusion, a sadness that stabs my heart. Alicia isn't present. She's still meeting with her lawyer or retrieving stuff from her wrecked apartment. I reassure the kids that the custody schedule remains the same for now. They'll see Mom, etc. It's a tough conversation, but we get through it. Natalie stops by later. She sits with me at the kitchen table, each of us nursing a mug of tea. So, how do you feel? She asks quietly. I shrug, lost. Relieved, I guess, but also numb. It's not exactly a happy victory. The kids are upset. Alicia's basically homeless except for my guest room. We got the arrangement I wanted, but it's all pretty tragic. She squeezes my hand. Tragedy aside, you protected yourself and the kids. Alicia's the one who caused this. Don't forget that. I close my eyes. I know, just wish it hadn't gone down this way. Natalie nods. You can still move forward, Trevor. Focus on building a stable life for the kids. Maybe one day you'll find someone new who appreciates you. My throat tightens. The idea of dating again feels alien. But maybe someday. We'll see, I murmur. She leans in, pressing a gentle kiss on my cheek. I'm proud of you. You handled a nightmare with grace. Now, breathe and let the dust settle. Over the next week, Alicia stays in the guest room. She's quieter than ever, polite around the kids, avoiding me except for essential coordination. I glean from passing conversation that she's searching for a new apartment or possibly moving in with her mother, Doris, who's out of state. This drags out further confusion for the kids, but at least I have full legal custody with no overshadowing threat. One evening, Alicia musters courage to talk to me alone in the living room. The kids are asleep. She stands, arms folded, posture tentative. I found a small place a few blocks from the community center. Month-to-month lease. I can afford it if I pick up more classes. I'll probably move out next week. A swirl of relief and a slight pang hits me. That's good. The kids can still see you easily, it's close by. That helps with the schedule. She forces a small smile. Yeah, I guess so. A hush follows. Finally, she says in a trembling voice, I know we're divorced now and I accept it. But can we at least be decent co-parents? The kids deserve that. I nod. emotions swelling in my chest. Yes, I want that too. Her eyes fill with tears, but she holds herself steady. Thank you. Then she turns away, heading upstairs. The faint echo of her footsteps resonates in the empty corridor. A new sense of finality pervades the house as she slowly moves out her belongings again. The kids watch with mixed feelings, but this time it's less traumatic than the first attempt. They know Mom's not disappearing forever, just living elsewhere, and the legal lines are drawn. When she's ready to leave, Alicia stands by the doorway, suitcase in hand. She looks around at the living room, her eyes misty. I guess thanks for letting me crash here after the burglary. It was above and beyond, given everything. I nod stiffly. You're still the kids' mom. I had to ensure you were safe for their sake. She gives a sad half-smile. Right for their sake. I appreciate it. A swirl of unresolved tension lingers. We share a final look of muted sorrow, then she steps out. The door clicks shut behind her. I stare at the empty space for a long minute, forcing myself to accept that this is how it ends. In the subsequent weeks, the custody schedule flows smoothly enough. The kids adapt. Alicia picks them up from school on her designated days, returning them at night or keeping them overnight in her new small apartment. They occasionally mention it's cramped, but Alicia tries to make it cozy. Legally, Jade finalizes the paperwork for child support. Alicia pays a modest amount monthly, reflecting her limited income. She doesn't protest or cause friction, likely because she knows the affair sealed her fate in court. We remain civil for the children's sake. Grant's trial goes into plea bargaining. Rumor is he'll serve time. Alicia is no longer in direct danger, though the police keep her statement on file. She's relieved. I sense her attempt to rebuild her life, free from his toxic shadow. At the shipping yard, I find renewed focus. My co-workers see me calmer. Dom, my boss, remarks that my performance improved, the drama is behind me. Freed from constant anxiety, I invest more time with the kids, even signing up to coach Kyle's baseball team. Emma wants to join a dance class. Alicia and I coordinate that smoothly. Co-parenting is working out, ironically better than our marriage in its final days. One evening, the kids are in bed and I sit on the back porch, watching the summer sunset. The sky blazes with oranges and pinks. The hush of dusk soothes me. I recall the day Alicia confessed her affair in this very yard. The rage I felt. Now that rage is a distant memory. I've channeled it into protecting my family, winning the legal war, and forging a new path. My phone pings a text from Alicia. Kids had fun tonight. Let's coordinate times for next week's dance practice. Also, thanks for being patient with me. I reread it, feeling the odd pang of how polite we've become, like co-workers managing a shared project. But that's what we are now. Co-parents. I type back, sure, they seemed happy. Let me know the schedule. She replies with a simple thumbs-up emoji. The conversation ends. Silence envelops the yard. I realize I'm okay with this new normal. The drama, the betrayal, the heartbreak, it's all shaped me, but it doesn't define me. Tomorrow is a new day. The divorce is final, the kids are stable, Alicia's finding her own path, and I'm free to move forward, maybe eventually find real happiness. For now, it's enough to have survived the storm with my dignity and children's well-being intact. I linger outside, letting the warm evening breeze wash over me. Yes, a new dawn is here. I can breathe again, unconstrained by the fear of Alicia's betrayal or looming legal battles. The ghost of that affair recedes, leaving me with quiet determination to build a better life for the kids, and maybe, someday, for me as well. Epilogue. With Chapter 12 concluded, Trevor stands at the threshold of a new life. Divorce finalized, granting him majority custody, no spousal support, and a fair child support arrangement from Alicia. Alicia, burdened by regret, navigates her own aftermath living separately, co-parenting respectfully. The scars of her affair and Grant's indictment remain, but they no longer dominate Trevor's day-to-day. The children adapt to the new schedule, finding both parents present in separate spheres. Trevor has won his revenge in a measured, strategic way, emerging strong, stable, and focused on the kids' well-being. The cheating wife story ends with a bittersweet sense of closure. The marriage is done, the consequences are severe for Alicia, yet the children's best interests guide Trevor's final stance. As time unfolds, both ex-spouses may find new beginnings, but the imprint of betrayal ensures they never fully return to what once was. Trevor remains the decisive victor in controlling his family's future, stepping into a dawn free from the shackles of Alicia's infidelity and Grant's looming shadow.